thereabouts, the high of 54. Turning cloudy tonight, it'll be chilly with the low down to 31. Still cloudy for us on Wednesday. Take your umbrella. We'll have a shower in spots in the afternoon. The high of 50. Partly cloudy on Wednesday night, the low down to 29. Partly sunny, a breezy day Thursday, the high back to 50. But with that breeze, it may feel a little bit chilly at times. Turning cloudy Friday, it'll be milder to round out the week with the high of 57. We'll get a couple of showers, then a steadier rain developing Friday night. That'll linger into early parts of Saturday. A cooler day with occasional rain and drizzle, but again, mainly early in the day, the high of 45. Then cloudy, drier, and a touch milder as we head into the day on Sunday to round out the weekend. The high of 48 for us as we head into Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
56 and sunny in Hartford, Wall Street. Dow Jones down now 75 points. NASDAQ's up 45. S&P's down a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Paul Anka, all the hits, his way. Saturday, June 21st at Mohegan Sun Arena. Get tickets Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Paul Anka.
January through March.
What up, Michael B?
Our weather can change in a snap. 45
Check 1 2 4 5.
What's going on, brah?
What's up?
Ready to go. Ready.
It's Friday, man.
Nah, relax now. Just Tuesday.
With any vehicle service, we will test your charging system and battery for free. If your battery fails the test, we will replace it with no additional labor cost. Plus, you'll receive a $20 Visa card, so don't get stuck in the cold. Call or go to CussonAutomotive.com.
Cusson Automotive. Do it right. Cusson. Do it right.
Hey, Tom Shattuck here. As you know, my friend Phil has
1 minute.
lost for
Yes,
now
sir.
6 weeks. Let's check in with Phil.
Down 6.8.
Hey, how loud do you have
Started, I'm down.
our feed
30.
going in, coming in?
A week on average.
I
You're
mean,
still losing
somewhat
weight at
loud.
an
Why?
increased clip. 6 weeks.
I can't believe it.
Because Brian was dealing with the same issue you were.
Oh, okay. Little echoes.
Yeah, only he can only hear it in.
They measure the.
But he had to turn one of his feeds down. I forget.
Okay.
It was either going to him or going to us. It was one of those two.
Gotcha.
And
He was on location.
Yeah, he was at Cape Cod.
Gotcha.
And he had to turn his thing down, and that fixed the problem.
Okay, I will do the same thing here. I think I know what he might be talking about.
Down to 33%.
You can be a resounding success story like Phil. Call 844.
All right, here we go.
You got it.
800. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Reese is on the radio.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And what's going on, all you scallywags and nutmeggers around the fruited plain? It's Reese on the radio, as you heard the big voice say, and it's a pleasure to be here on Tuesday. We will get to the opening monologue in a second, because I know that everyone's running around desperate, pulling their hair out. It's the end of the republic. Because of a messaging app called Signal. We'll get into that. But I need to applaud myself today. I am finally, Roland, a part of the future. I have joined the future. Okay, I'm a year behind, but only a year behind as opposed to the 7 years behind I was yesterday. I have gotten a new phone, a new cell phone, at least a phone from the 20s.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I went down to my provider and I got a new phone, and I looked at it, and it's nice, it's slick. I don't have a cover for it or anything. I need to get one of those, those
ASAP.
hard shell sort of things that cover up the phone. I'm going to buy that But when I went there and they were showing me all of these different designed phones, this one can do that. This one can call your dog. This one can close your shutters. I said, I just need a phone where I can call and text people. That's all I want. So the woman pulled out this nice phone, which I have here. It's slick. The camera is beautiful. It's got 3 of them. Okay? And I believe it is the Samsung XP9745DW40. I don't know what model or how fancy it is, but all I know is that there are a lot of letters and a lot of ampersands that are associated with this phone. But I went and got one, and I am now a part of the future. A year behind, but still a part of the future. Yeah, and I can't get Facebook on the new phone. It won't let me put Facebook on the new phone. So I have to go to the old phone that I owed. Now, they were going to give me, this is the interesting part, Roland. Okay. They were going to give me, remember I told you my phone just kept shutting off. I couldn't get it on. It would, it just kept rebooting. And when I got there, they looked at the phone, they opened it up, looked inside the SIM card. They saw it was no water damage. The phone has been pristine condition. I've had it inside that Otter box. I think that's the name. If those of you who know those little covers for your cell phone, Otter is one of the most expensive, if not most durable covers for your phone.
Yep.
So I bought, I had it in that most of these years. And the woman checked it and she goes, wow, you bought this 6 years ago. That's, it's impressive. It's really got no damage. We will give you a $500 cash back towards your new phone. And the new phone is only $650. But here's where the problem. The problem was the phone would not stay on. It just kept cutting off and rebooting, cutting off and rebooting. And because of that, they would not take it as a rebate, sort of as a buyback. Then, just as luck would have it, it's just the way that my luck goes. I woke up this morning after I transferred everything over. I got it to stay on long enough to transfer all of my old data to my new data, right? All of my passwords and everything went onto the new phone. And then I woke up this morning, and guess what?
It worked fine.
The old phone works perfectly. The old phone is back up, and now I have to use that. And because I own it outright, I have to go back to that phone if ever I want to go on Facebook or anything like that. And it only works on Wi-Fi now. But now I keep it in the house so I can go to Facebook and stuff like that.
You can still go over there and get your $500 rebate, right?
I think she told me that if I returned it now, if I brought it there now, I would only get $5 for it.
No, that's
I can go back and do it?
You can go back and do it.
Okay, all right.
Ask for a manager and say, hey, I bought this yesterday. We couldn't get it working. I was able to get it working today.
Yeah.
So I need that rebate.
Okay,
and
good.
They'll give it to you.
Okay, good. Then we'll do that today, right after the show, because we went down there and we weren't even there an hour, and we got the whole thing set up. It's a little bright in here, so I have to turn this light a certain way because I'm trying to read the comments inside the.
All the lights off in here, buddy.
Yeah, I
every
bet.
day.
Yeah, you're always in the dark. It's a weird thing. Producers, all the producers like the lights off. That's because y'all get freaky. Anyway, Salvatore, how we doing, sir? I know I've seen you in the chat room for a little while. I haven't given you a shout out. Okay, let's get into it because now I've got about 12 minutes to get into the opening monologue. I've got so much stuff to get into, and we're going to spend a little time on this today because I'm seeing this debate happen all over the place. And there's one thing I want to get out of the way on this whole thing with Mike Walls, Pete Hegseth, John Radcliffe, Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, everyone who was a part of this email thread or this text thread talking about the attack on the Houthis back on March 11th. March 15th. But these text messages on Signal happened back on March 11th. And I really want to get into the depth of all of this. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, if you were paying attention to it, but I was. One, because it's my job, and two, I can't resist this kind of stuff. But who here can raise their hand, listening to my voice, and say, hey, why are they blaming Pete Hegseth for this? Tell me you didn't ask yourself that. Tell me you didn't ask yourself, what's Pete Hegseth got to do with this, and why are they trying to implicate him in this text message scandal with Jeffrey Goldberg? Did anybody ask? Because sure enough, everyone was saying Pete Hegseth had to go. Because when I was looking at the story and I read it, this had everything to do with Mike Walls. This had everything to do with him, not Pete Hegseth. I found it interesting that they didn't go after Tulsi Gabbard or even the CIA director, John Radcliffe. No mention. J.D. Vance wasn't even considered as one of the people who had done something wrong in this. They went right for Pete Hegseth. Even though Mike Walls was, at the end of the day, what do we know now? Today, right? Everybody's talking about Mike Walls. Everyone's talking about the president and his confidence in him, right? Is the national security advisor. Listen closely, folks. I know that we get news every day. I know that we get news every day. But anybody remember the last national security advisor to go through this kind of scandal with the news media? Yeah, that's what I thought. You do. We'll get into that in a minute. This was a bunch of people jumping up and down saying, we got him. That's what Jeffrey Goldberg was doing. That's what the news media was doing. They were like, we got him. You see, they're incompetent. And every bozo under the sun was tweeting about it, Facebooking about it, Instagramming about it. Hell, they were everywhere. But they couldn't answer one question when I asked, what does this mean? It's the most important question. What does it mean that Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic was associated or entered into this text thread between people in Washington and cabinet members of the Trump administration? What does it mean that Jeffrey Goldberg had access to what they were tweeting about or what they were texting each other about? What does it mean? And everyone under the sun tried to explain it to me, to suggest that there were national security secrets that could have been, that's the key one, could have been shared abroad. Which lends me to the obvious question, leads me to the obvious question. Is that because Jeffrey Goldberg would have leaked it to our enemies? Because he was the only person outside that chain who would or could have. He was the only person who was not supposed to be there. Are you saying that they compromised intelligence by giving it to the stalwart reporter, Jeffrey Goldberg? The esteemed 30-year career reporter of The Atlantic kept that magazine afloat? What is their concern with the reporter? Because obviously that would be my concern. My concern in all of this is somebody put Jeffrey Goldberg in there, and Jeffrey Goldberg is a traitor. He's a treasonous piece of trash who would have taken that information and given it to the Houthis or Iran or anybody else. He was the only person who was outside of that exchange who didn't belong. Is that what you're saying? Because that's the obvious problem. But no one is saying that. This is the reason why people have been twisting themselves into a pretzel trying to explain what the problem is here. But I want to go one step further. It's very important that you always listen to the horse's mouth. Because Jeffrey Goldberg is talking about this, and he's talking to anyone who will listen. And I want you to take this opportunity to listen to the embattled Jeffrey Goldberg decide on what to do about his credibility. Let me set it up for you. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, and many others are saying that they did not share classified info inside that text exchange or war room tactics inside that text exchange. Jeffrey Goldberg says that's not true. So it's now incumbent on him to expose the Trump White House and the cabinet secretaries who were inside that text message to explain, no, they're lying, and here's the proof. Now, many people are saying, well, in order for him to do that, he has to give it to the press. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to give it to the press at all. He can give it to congressional oversight in a classified setting. And the only people who would see it are those individuals, and don't worry, old Jeffrey Goldberg has already seen it himself. Doesn't have to go to the public at all, but he can expose them. And let's not forget, John Radcliffe testified today in front of senators and said under oath that no classified information was shared in that exchange. Now, if Jeffrey Goldberg is telling the truth, that means that John Radcliffe perjured himself, right? Yes. As did Tulsi Gabbard when she said in that Senate oversight hearing today, no classified information was shared. She would have been perjuring herself as well. What an opportunity to get rid of cabinet members. You could Michael Flynn them now. So please explain to me why Jeffrey Goldberg sounds like this.
Look, by any standard of imagination, I mean, we're talking about, again, these are technical terms, and there's many, many different layers and complexities, and I'm not a national security lawyer. But look, I've been doing this for more than 30 years. I know what sensitive technical information looks like. Okay.
So let's go to that national security lawyer question then, because I think, look, if the White House now the Secretary of Defense and the White House press secretary have said you're lying, have said there are no war plans there, have said there's no classified information. So the obvious question is, shouldn't you now demonstrate it? Shouldn't you publish the text?
No, because they're wrong. They're wrong.
So he's saying, no, I can't publish it because they're not telling the truth. And I do publish it, then I'm publishing classified information. Okay, fair enough. That gives you an out, Jeffrey Goldberg. But Tim Miller, who's there, this is the guy questioning him, he's one of the Obama bros, he pushed back on that. Because again, you don't have to release it to the public. Fine, scrap that. There is another avenue.
But how can you prove that you're wrong? Maybe should you provide them to the House and Senate Special Committees on Intelligence, maybe?
Why not? The House Intelligence Select Committee. They have access to classified documents. They can bring you in a classified setting that isn't in the public and review those text messages. So now they can see, oh yeah, they lied to me under oath. Perjury. Listen to Jeffrey Goldberg.
Wow. Well, you want to become my lawyer?
I'm throwing this out there, Jeff. I don't know. I mean, look.
I feel like no. I mean, I obviously. Let me just put it this way: my colleagues and I, and the advice that and the people who are giving us advice on this have some interesting conversations to have about this. Yeah. But just because they're irresponsible with material doesn't mean that I'm going to be irresponsible.
How would you be irresponsible giving it to a select committee? What are you talking about?
With this material. And you know what? I could, whatever. I mean, you've had a long history, as I have, with dealing with them. And at moments like this, when they're under pressure because they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar or whatever, they will just literally say anything to get out of the moment, to get out of the jam. And that's okay. I get it. I get the defensive reaction, but here's the thing: my obligation, I feel, is to the idea that we take national security information seriously.
Send it to the select committee. If it's so dire, if it's such a big deal, Jeffrey, and you take national security so importantly, as you claim, give it to them and say that, look, these guys are being frivolous with the information. What's holding you? What's keeping you up?
And maybe in the coming days I'll be able to let you know that, okay, I have a plan to have this material vetted publicly. But I'm not going to say that now because there's a lot of conversations that have to happen about that.
And here's what the conversation is before we go to a break. And you'd find the explanation in the wildest of places, folks. I bring you DJ Envy, my former colleague over at Hot 97, who's now on the Breakfast Club with Shyamalan, the so-called God. DJ Envy is not a political animal. He's not. But he said this on the Breakfast Club on his show, and listen to what his female correspondent said. The reason why Jeffrey Goldberg is not going to hand it over is because he's milking it. Listen to the Breakfast Club, of all places. It's like when people say, out of the mouths of babes.
If you did get those texts, right, and you know those texts weren't supposed to be to you, why would you put it out there? Like that's what I don't understand. Like, you are a journalist, but this is your country, and you know releasing some of that stuff can probably or might affect some of the things that happen. Why would you put that out there? Like,
you think I'm gonna sit on that? You know how big of a story that is? That's why you put it out there.
Yeah, but this is your country, and if it could affect military, it could affect people that's out there working.
Nobody
and
cares about that because you have bylines, you want to get the clicks, you want to sensationalize, and in 2025, nobody cares about that.
That's right, baby. In 2025, nobody cares about that. Neither does Jeffrey Goldberg. You don't give two damns about that. They're holding on to that information and they're seeing how long they can stretch it. Keep people buying the Atlantic, continue reporting about it, drag it on, make them the newspaper of record, the place where everybody goes, is there more to this saga? Yeah. It's brilliant if it weren't so stupid. We'll take a break. Your phone calls 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Hartford area attorneys. Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we provide no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks and most courses. And that's not all. You'll receive your accredited online education at an affordable tuition with a choice for more than 135 degree and certificate programs. With online and hybrid courses, get everything you need to succeed again. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Are you a small
Good
business
point,
owner
Rama.
who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
And now, a WTIC news update.
55 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva. President Trump is downplaying the texting of war plans to a group chat that included a journalist as the only glitch in 2 months of his administration. Trump telling NBC it turned out not to be a serious one. Top national security officials, including Trump's defense secretary, texted plans for upcoming military strikes in Yemen to a group chat in a secure messaging app that included the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine. Police in New Haven have identified the human remains found earlier this month in the city. They say 59-year-old Denise Leary was first reported missing last September. Remains were found in the back of a home on Rock Creek Road in New Haven. That's the street where Leary lived. In Plainfield, police are charging 2 New York women after they were tipped off by residents regarding sexual activity at a spa in town. Lu Fangfang and Fang Wang are charged. Detectives conducted an operation at the wellness spa on Railroad Avenue. Turned up prostitution proceeds and other evidence. 5 high-level officials at the CDC are leaving. The departures announced today at a meeting of agency senior leaders. Means close to a third of the agency's top management is leaving or left recently. Groton man facing charges after state police say he caused a fatal crash last year driving the wrong way on Interstate 95 in Westbrook. Troy Bree is 58. He faces charges of manslaughter with a motor vehicle and DUI. AZ Fudd returning for another year at UConn. The 5'11 guard, grad student, averaging better than 22 points this NCAA tournament, made the announcement today, one day after the Huskies advanced to the Sweet 16. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Here's Jason Caterina with the forecast.
Well, the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy and milder with a mix of sun and clouds, the high of 54. Turning cloudy and chilly tonight with a low down to 31. Cloudy on our Wednesday with a shower in spots for the afternoon, the high of 50. Partly cloudy on Thursday night, the low down to 29. Partly sunny, breezy Thursday, the high right back to 50. Turning cloudy on Friday, but milder with the high up to 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
55, partly sunny in Hartford. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you a proud Connecticut business owner? We are too. With more than 48 years of experience handling business transactions for small and mid-sized businesses. And we know that not every business relationship works out as planned. If you found yourself in a dispute, call the law firm of Brown, Payne, Darris & Scott. Our team of business lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nick Payne Darris is responsible for the content of this ad.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768A, D1040145, E1185643, S330869, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
And you can have it all at 2 for $6, like a Filet-O-Fish, Big Mac, 10-piece McNuggets, or large fries. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Welcome to the new era of excellence at Amber Woods of Farmington. We're thrilled to announce that our transformative renovations are now complete, and we've truly taken it to the next level for our residents. Discover our stunning new spaces and indulge in 5-star amenities that redefine comfort and care. This is not the same Amber Woods you knew. Call us today at 860-677-1671 or visit amberwoodsof.com to schedule a tour and witness the remarkable changes at Amber Woods. We can't wait to welcome you.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Hard work and dreams lead to success, but easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. Make filing taxes a walk in the park, because we'll pre-fill your info for you so you can file quickly and confidently. Winner! Get the peace of mind that comes with expert help. Let's go! Being powered by TurboTax means you're backed by the leading tax preparer, and we'll show you all your filing options up front so there are no surprises. File your taxes on Intuit Credit Karma today. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantee.
$5,000.
1 minute.
Money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
There's so much other audio about this that I need to get into. If you watch that Senate hearing today, John Radcliffe had an exchange with Senator Mike Bennett, and it was about the use of this app Signal. I've heard of it before, and I understand that, you know, this has been around for a while. In fact, I think the first time I had ever heard about it, of all people, Edward Snowden was talking about it. But this was that exchange between John Radcliffe and Senator Mike Bennett today. Listen to this.
I don't know if you use Signal messaging app.
I do. Not for classified information, not for targeting,
well, neither
not
do I,
for
Senator.
anything remote.
Neither do I, Senator.
Well, that's what your testimony is today.
It absolutely is not, Senator. Were you not listening at the beginning?
No.
When I said that I was using it as permitted, it is permissible
I agree that's your testimony.
Yeah.
I agree that's your testimony. You asked me if I use it, and I said not for targeting, not for classified information.
And I said I don't either.
And that is an interesting exchange there. Because remember, Radcliffe is in this text thread. He's in it. And if there was classified information in there, technically he would have perjured himself. They're not just going to offer it up and divulge it. This whole thing is to make hay because of a lot of things that have become desperately obvious to the Democrat Party. And that is, whatever comes their way, grab it. Turn it into whatever calamity you can, because they've got no momentum. Every bit of their momentum is sinking. And they need something. And this is what happens when you get desperate. This is, it's like, imagine you're the Kansas City Chiefs and everyone's gunning for you. And taking you down has nothing to do with the game, especially if the only objective is for you to lose. I hate to put it in these terms, but it's like, I want to put it in plain English. This is just an opportunity to find a fault. It's like dropping a pass when there's so much more game to play, or throwing a pick six in the first quarter. You don't turn that into a victory. You don't turn that into we're winning the game. It's just a bad play. But again, I've got to ask the question. What is the outrage about? And I wish people would just be honest. That's all I wish. I wish they would just be honest. They would say, well, it's bad press for this administration, and I like that. I'm sick and tired of all the press being about me and my party and the people that I support. It's nice for them to get a little comeuppance. And I want to grind it in the ground. I want to rub their noses in it so I can feel like I'm at least getting one win. Now, was this an unforced error? Is this a self-own? Absolutely. The dumb part is that I don't even know what's going to happen to the staffer. But by the way, did you know about the staffer? I hope everybody knows about this. I don't want to be the first person telling you this, okay? And if I am, I apologize for the rest of the news media who's not covering it. A staffer put Jeffrey Goldberg's information as a contact. Mike Walls has never met Jeffrey Goldberg. They've never met at all. And Jeffrey Goldberg, in case you don't know, the reason why he made this about Pete Hegseth is because he saw someone's name that he recognized. He didn't know Mike Waltz. He knew nothing about him, had no relationship with him. That's the reason why he made it about Pete Hegseth. Therefore, everyone else in the news media made it about Pete Hegseth. Well, I'm being invited to this thing with Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. It was Goldberg who made it about he wanted a big fish in all of this. He thought he had one. Pete Hegseth being one of the most controversial cabinet members, he thought he had a big fish. So he made it about that. The story ended up going towards Mike Walls once people started to find out how the whole thing fell apart. That's it. It's that simple. Staffer put the information in there, and in going through the text messages and going through everybody's name that's supposed to be linked on the conversation, inadvertently, boom, Jeffrey Goldberg ends up in the text exchange. That's it. And again, this screaming and hollering about what information could have been leaked. And I love the word leaked in all of this. Nothing was leaked. Jeffrey Goldberg got an opportunity to be a part of an exchange he had no business. He saw the opportunity and he took it. He took every bit of the conversation and he utilized it. He didn't contact anybody that he had been inadvertently added in the exchange. He let no one know about it. He knew he had something to use. And because he is a very, very big, huge critic of the Trump administration, he wants Trump, destroyed. He sat back and he waited for his opportunity. He never told a soul and then reported on it after the mission was completed. He didn't affect it in any way. And now people are under the impression that because this happened, something is due to happen in the future. Really? That's what you got from this? That's what you got from this administration? Was that after a mistake, there's a possibility that the mistake would be made again? That's what you get from this administration? Did you miss the last 4 years? Like, did you really? And again, I don't want to get into the last 4 years. But all I'm asking, liberals, please, People who hate Donald Trump, especially people who hate Donald Trump, or Pete Hegseth, or John Radcliffe, or Mike Walls, or anybody else for that matter. You hate J.D. Vance. Pick up the phone. Come on. Tell me exactly what it is that you're upset about. Tell me what was so bad about what happened and what it means for the future. And let me tell you why they won't. Let me tell you why. It's the same thing I posted on Facebook today. The media hasn't told them what they're supposed to be upset about because the media doesn't know. The media only knows what happened, but there's no narrative to spin. And when you don't have a narrative to spin, you're lost. It's not even the biggest news of the day. Do you notice that everyone is still covering the Tren de Aragua deportations more than anything about the criminal court, the court proceedings, the appellate court proceedings? They're covering that because that is the biggest story of the day, not this. This is nothing. We're talking about a campaign that's already done and over with. It's old news. The Trump administration moves so fast on all of this, so fast, that it's old news. No one's talking about the Houthis anymore. They bombed them. Boom, boom, bam, bam. Done, over with. This is a scandal looking for a story. That's it. That's all it is. Lori writes in the chat room, she says, if only the Democrats were so concerned with Hillary and her private servers, with government classified documents, in which her hired hands proceeded to destroy all the evidence, including smashing of phones and bleach bidding hard drives. Exactly. They had no interest in that. That's the reason why there's no real effort to go after this. When Hillary Clinton came out with a tweet admonishing the administration for this, people, rightfully so, stated to her, Hillary, you're going to need to sit this one down. Like, do you not understand your hubris here? Take all the seats, Hillary. Take all of them. I mean, you had a server in a bathroom, in a basement. Slow down. You deleted 33,000 emails. 33,000. And it was found out that all your emails were compromised. And they weren't compromised by somebody at the Atlantic. You didn't inadvertently CC somebody at the Washington Post. No, Chinese and Russian governments read them. Please, folks, just on the real, take all the seats. Take them all. Sit down. Put your thumb in your mouth, get in the fetal position, and shut up. I understand you want it to be a scandal. I understand that you're desirous to make it a scandal. You need this. Your party of choice is drowning. And that makes sense. It's desperate. It's really, really desperate. But anyway, I digress. I got plenty of other stuff to get into. That horrible young lady, Jasmine Crockett in Tubbs, is in the news again. Apparently, she attacked a reporter in the halls of Congress, or at least one of the congressional buildings. It's not even important to play that audio because it's just visual. And you can't see it, but she attacked them. But what she said about the paralyzed governor of Texas is absolutely beyond somebody who sits in Congress. But I'm going to explain to you what that's about and why she's doing it. Plus, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, ipso facto leader of the Democrat Party. Oh, and can somebody explain this to me, please? Send me an email, call me up, or even go in the chat room. Explain this to me. If I'm reading this correctly, Chris Murphy is dating a woman who runs a media organization. Chris Murphy is in every and any publication known to man talking about the new direction of the Democrat Party that he would like to champion. He would like to be the stalwart of. with all of the press, all of the ink, all of the video, all of these Sunday morning news programs that he's on there. Can someone explain to me how he doesn't make the top 10 list of future Democrat leaders? How is that possible? Can someone explain that to me? He's everywhere. But the new polling data doesn't even give him 1%. 1%. That's just awful. I mean, he's polling behind Stephen A. Smith. I don't even think he's, like, it's not getting anything. No burn. No burn at all. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Mike in Plainville when we do. Lori says that Crockett told an interviewer to have people strike Ted Cruz on the head. Yes, I've got that audio. I've got that. You know I got that audio, Lori. I came prepared today. Someone called Bloomy. He came up with the narrative. Someone called Bloomy. Bloomy will come up with the narrative without a doubt. Blumenthal will, without a doubt. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and I got plenty of sound bites to bear. Scott Jennings, James Carville. Wow. 31 days ago, he said something about the Trump administration that you will not believe. And I've got video that suggests that it may be kaputs for James Carville. We'll talk about that also when we return. Don't forget, stupidest thing that I read today coming up as well. It's Reese On The Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Concerned about your gums? Columbia Dental's expert periodontists specialize in treating all gum conditions, helping you achieve a healthy, confident smile. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
As men get older, our bodies change. We all know that. And often we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym, could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improved mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make a change for the good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Important Medicare news. Doge chief Elon Musk says all government spending is up for review, and the House plans to cut $800 million in health care costs. These cuts could hit Medicare and Medicaid. Now, Rob Finnerty is on Newsmax tonight, revealing the real Medicare crisis. Over 65 million people depend on Medicare, and Rob Finnerty says hardworking Americans that paid for it should get their full Medicare coverage. This week in his series Medicare in Crisis, Rob Finnerty looks at Medicare and why it faces bankruptcy. Big changes are ahead for Medicare. You need to watch Rob Finnerty tonight. Find Newsmax on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone now. Millions are switching to Newsmax because we're fighting for you.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit ConsumerCellular.com or a store near you and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN. Here we go.
It's Reese on the Radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Of course, Scott Jennings, I think Greg Gutfeld on the 5 called him, what do you call him, Jennings porn? Because the only reason why people ever watch CNN is to hear Scott Jennings debate all the liberals on CNN, and it's actually incredible to watch at times. But he was asked about this as well. This was an interesting take on this. And there's a part of me that just sort of agrees with Scott Jennings on this. But immediately when he starts going into the Biden administration, I'm just like, dude, you don't even need to mention the Biden administration. That whole thing was a joke. And that's where I cut it off. Because I'm like, having to own the left on the Biden administration, at this particular, it's kicking people when they're down. The Biden administration was a joke. Everybody knows it. We don't need to remind them.
All right, moments ago, Caitlin Collins was reporting on her show, Scott, that there is shock inside the White House.
Oh, my God, there's shock.
That this chat was texted to Jeffrey Goldberg.
Oh, my God, are you shocked? Are you shocked? There's shock. Oh.
Are you shocked?
Well, sure. I mean, it's a shocking thing. And, they've admitted that it was a mistake and admitted that it's authentic. So they're owning up to it. I think they're still, based on what I've heard tonight, trying to figure out how it happened. I'm not sure the National Security Advisor, Walls, even knows Goldberg. In fact, I don't believe he knows him and has never met him. I did learn a few things in some of my conversations, if you're interested. One is that the Signal program was preloaded on a number of devices and agency computers in this circuit when they got there. So in their view, it was already in use. Number two, in some of the messages, they talk about needing to go to the high side computers, which is the classified system. So they clearly were knowing there was a line on what you could discuss in a chat like this versus classified system.
Again, who's reporting that? Nobody. And doesn't it mean something to report that? Of course it does. It means something to report that. That in the exchange, they make it clear that there are things that they need to discuss elsewhere. So, again, narrative busting reporting right there by Scott Jennings. Narrative busting. Do you think anybody else is talking about it? No, not even mentioning it. Wonder why? Come on. I don't have to tell you.
Number three, there is a dispute over whether the term war plans is being exaggerated. And number four, look, I love the policy. It's well executed. You've got a thoughtful policy discussion going on, and we did what the Biden administration would not do.
And that's where I cut him off. We did what the Biden administration, we know the Biden administration didn't do anything. Now it's just piling on. It's not necessary. Facts are the facts. If the text exchange says that there were things that they needed to discuss elsewhere because it was classified, clearly they knew what they were doing. And I think that's the reason why Jeffrey Goldberg has that debate going on. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know. He's worried about his credibility. He's got to challenge the White House. He's clearly got to challenge it. But do I challenge it? Do I milk it? I could get a lot of burn out of this. I don't know. Y'all folks are going to have to tell me. I got to tell me. I just know. Anyway, I'm not getting into that. Jason Catarinas has got your weather. So let's get our first check of that. But first, let's go to Mark Christopher. He is in the BPS Traffic Center. There he is. Okay. Happy Tuesday to you, Mark.
Same to you, Reese. Good afternoon. If you're heading toward Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91.
You know that's me that has to play that music.
Yes, I know.
After that, get a good ride down into Meriden, northbound 91.
I was looking at gumbo. I was looking at...
Clearly thinking about food.
Yeah.
Down to the Bulkley. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bissell Bridge as you head into South Windsor. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harvard Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Here we're seeing a little slow traffic now on the northbound side of the parkway, right at the end of the parkway in Meriden in that construction area up by 68 N&E. Could be an accident there slowing you down. Westbound 84 is slowing, approaching 22 in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, 91 in the Parkway, both in very good shape. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy and milder with a mix of sun and clouds, the high of 54.
turning cloudy and chilly tonight with a low down to 31. Cloudy on our Wednesday with a shower in spots for the afternoon, the high at 50. Partly cloudy on Thursday night, the low down to 29. Partly sunny, breezy Thursday, the high right back to 50. Turning cloudy on Friday, but milder with the high up to 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app. Now, WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock. Hartford temperature 55 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Physicians and lawmakers gathered in Hartford today to vouch for the safety of vaccines. They're concerned about the recent cases of measles across the country, and they're reminding everyone they should get their shots. Democratic State Senator Dr. Saud Anwar says worldwide vaccine campaigns have been successful.
They have somewhat become a victim of their own success because for almost 2.5 or 3 generations, people have not seen the illnesses that have been preventable in our country. And that's one of the reasons that some people feel that these illnesses are not real. They're very real.
Last week, the State Department of Public Health asked residents to verify their vaccine status. In New Haven, police have released the name of a woman whose remains were found last week. They say 59-year-old Denise Leary was first reported missing last September. Leary had suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. Her remains were found by those clearing brush in back of a home on March 20th on Rock Creek Road. That's the street police say where Leary lived. No official cause of death has been released as yet. Trump administration working to mitigate the fallout and explain why. A reporter wound up on a group text chat on the open source encrypted messaging app Signal about strikes in Yemen hours before they occurred. Officials appeared before a Senate committee today. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
As Director Radcliffe testified today, his first day on the job, he was introduced to this app on his government systems at the CIA and at the State Department and otherwise. So, look, this journalist, Mr. President, wants the world talking about more hoaxes and this kind of nonsense rather than the freedom that you're enabling and a key part of our sovereignty.
Retired Army Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, former National Security Advisor in the first Trump administration, says
these kinds of classified conversations, they should be held in a specially compartmented intelligence facility like the Situation Room of the White House. And then if you have somebody traveling, you connect them via secure communication.
Trump says he stands by Waltz. Appears consumers don't have much confidence in the economy.
The Conference Board's March Consumer Confidence Index declined for the 4th consecutive month, with future economic expectations tumbling to a 12-year low. Short-term labor conditions rose slightly, but future income expectations vanished, according to the board. Purchasing plans over the next 6 months for homes and autos declined, although intentions to buy big-ticket items like appliances and electronics rose, suggesting that consumers want to get ahead of tariffs and price increases.
That's business reporter Jason Brooks. Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam told the City Council that the state of the city is strong thanks to its residents. In his annual speech, he called Hartford safer than ever, thanks in part to community policing. He's also working to make Hartford more affordable, and he's been going after disreputable landlords, he says.
We created a problem landlords task force, and last year that task force came up with a list of the worst landlords across our city. And it didn't just list their business names. We published their names and the cities they lived in. So now if you Google those bad actors, you will know that they made their money fleecing Hartford renters. No more hiding.
Mayor says the city's investing to help small businesses. He also wants to start a program allowing city employees to buy homes in Hartford without making a down payment. Markets eked out slight gains on Wall Street today. Dow finishing up 4 points, NASDAQ up 83, S&P up 9. The closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This year, celebrate Easter at either Evergreens at the Simsbury Inn or Seasons in the Avon Old Farms Hotel. You'll enjoy a gourmet buffet featuring traditional Easter dishes, live music, and there will be appearances from the Easter Bunny. For just $79.95 per adult, you can get out of the kitchen, relax, and enjoy Easter. There are seatings at each location between 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. For a reservation at Evergreens, call 860-392-0309. For a reservation at Seasons, call 860-690240.
Thank you.
Reservations will go fast, so call and make your reservation today. Celebrate Easter Sunday this year with us at either Evergreens or Seasons.
It's Reese on the radio.
All right, moments ago, Caitlin Collins was reporting on her show, Scott, that there is shock
on NewsTalk
inside the White House.
WTIC.
Of course I did that. I always forget that I have that clip sitting up there ready to go. I should have been ready to go. Anyway, Reese on the radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. We've got more traffic and weather coming up with Jason Catarinas, of course, in the Weather Center, and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. We'll do that in a little bit. We've got Stupidest Thing I've Read Today also coming up, which involves a story that I'm probably going to have to extend to a whole nother break. But I know that everyone in the country, in fact, I'll ask you, Roland, do you believe, like, if you had to guess in this country, out of the 340 million people who live here, if you had to put a percentage on it, how many people in the country do you believe know about Jussie Smollett? If you had to put a number on it.
Maybe 60.
60?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a reasonable number. Now, if I were to ask generally, what was the biggest item related to the so-called racial attack or the false racial attack against Jussie Smollett? If you had to pick an item that was used in this so-called attack, what would be one of the things that would come to mind in that attack that he claimed was used during the attack on that February morn in Chicago?
An item I would have no idea.
Remember, there were several things that were related to this story. Remember, it was two guys wearing MAGA hats, right? There were also several items that were used in the attack. Do you remember what any of them were?
No, I don't.
Okay. One of them was bleach.
You would have to have cared about the whole situation.
Exactly. Okay, but there was bleach, and the biggest story was when the police arrived at his home, he was wearing the noose that they allegedly wrapped around his neck. Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So most people remember that. Caroline's already everybody knows this. So it was the most relevant part of this entire story. And what also blew it apart was the fact that he was still wearing the noose when police arrived and after he went home. Everybody said to themselves, there's no way I would keep the noose on. But he did. He claims he wanted to show. So imagine my surprise. Now, you said, I think you were fair. And when I say fair, I mean not that you were accurate. I think you were fair. If I were to ask anybody else in the chat room, how many people do you believe knew about that? The numbers have got to be 70 to 75%. Let's go. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Jason Catarinas has got your weather coming up. But if I were to say, Mark Christopher, how many people out of the 340 million who live in the country, what would be your percentage who heard about, whether or not they had an opinion or not, heard about Jussie Smollett in Chicago? What would the percentage be for you?
Oh, man, I would say it would be pretty high. It was a big story.
Huge, right? It was national. So if I said 85%, would that be too high or too low?
No, I think it'd be right around.
Right around that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That
good.
Was a huge story
So it would be. It would behoove you if I told you I had a story about somebody involving a noose that pulled the same stunt.
Okay.
You would be surprised, right?
Yeah.
Wait until 4:30. You're never gonna believe it. It's the most incredible story I've heard so far. And again, after the Jussie Smollett story, I still can't believe that somebody did it. So we'll talk about that in a bit.
Unbelievable. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese southbound 91, you're looking at delays from 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound side 91, that looks real good. Crime all through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up East Hartford approaching.
I was basing it more on how many people watched Empire.
It's about a half mile before 46th Avenue down into the tunnel. 291 eastbound.
And it was like 120 million or something like that.
It was,
If
you know,
are traveling 2 eastbound, that looks good. Glastonbury to Marlboro.
I can't even tell you because I can't say it on air. But the term that I used to call that thing,
to the Mixmaster on the westbound side of 84.
Something
If
ific.
you're traveling southbound Parkway,
The
you've got some slow
musical.
traffic approaching the west.
I like the show though. It was cool.
The first
certain parts of it was like
First season was absolutely cool. I will admit that. And Taraji B. Henson was what? How can I describe? Oh, look at it. I don't think
look at
Jason's
this dude not here.
He's probably looking up Jussie Smollett stories.
Well, the rest of our
There he
Tuesday
is.
afternoon, breezy and milder with a mix of sun and clouds. The high up to
Taraji
54.
was
turning cloudy and chilly
what I would
tonight. The lows
consider
up and down to
a
31.
I-
It remains
I hate
cloudy
to use
for
the
us
term
as we
low
head through the
budget,
day
but let's
on
just say
Wednesday
a
with shower
small
and spots
town
for the
version
afternoon. Maybe take
of
your
like
umbrellas
Jackie
just in
Collins
case. The
from
high at 50. Partly cloudy,
from
chilly
Dynasty.
on
She had
Wednesday
that
night,
kind of
the low down to
appeal,
24.
Oh, okay.
like as sort of
Then
a
Thursday,
villainess.
partly sunny,
So I
breezy.
loved
It's
her
gonna feel a
character.
little
Cookie, I
chilly.
thought she was
a
great.
lot of people loved her.
Loved her character.
Meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's the Peter O.
I don't even call her Taraji no more. I always refer to her as Cookie Lion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She did. She stole that show. It's the role she was meant. That was meant for her. I think it was written for her.
No additional charge. For a free estimate, please visit.
Yep. It started to get crazy when he got kidnapped by what's her name, Demi Moore, was it?
Yes.
And taken off. And he's doing painting with his visions. And I'm like, oh, this is going too far.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old,
It
they
jumped
pretty
the
much
shark
know
really
the
early.
But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details.
When that first came out, I was doing this podcast, and I was like, hey, have you guys seen that show, Negro-rific, the musical? They were like, Negro-rific, the musical. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys call it Empire.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from 10.
Fresh Prince was like that too. The new Fresh Prince.
Cash
The first 2 seasons was really good. Then it just got crazy after that.
dollars per month and has been around.
Like, you know how stuff becomes unbelievable. It's like you could get away with a little bit of unbelievable, but
Swish,
you can't go all the way into the forest.
I was kind of miffed at the idea that they were putting a dramatic take on a
Choose
on
comedy.
It's fire though.
It was good.
The take they put on it, at least, like I said, at least the first 2 seasons was really good.
Right.
After that, it's like, okay, I'm done with it.
100%.
But yeah.
But you know what happens? It's sort of like what happened to Blackish, because I thought Blackish was brilliantly done in the first couple seasons. Very well. And that Kemba, whatever his name is, who was the writer, they got rid of him because they didn't think that he was doing a more Afrocentric show.
Yeah.
And it got real like blackified when they got rid of him. I'm like, what? It was a great show. It didn't need anything.
Yeah, it didn't need anything. It was a great show.
And what I loved about it was
forget to download that.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Okay.
I love the Odyssey app. Catch you Saturday morning.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
And we're back. Richard says that that Chris Murphy, that's not his girlfriend. He said that that's a woman that Chris Murphy pays to write his scripts. Well, Richard, if that's true, let me tell you this. I would break up with her. I broke up with a girl for not knowing who Alan Greenspan was. I'm not kidding. And it was at an Olive Garden in Buffalo. And yes, she was drinking White Zinfandel. Everything about that date was wrong. Everything. I will admit that I did continue to date her off and on for 7 years. I mean, What could I do? She was 21. She had a body like a cheerleader. She was beautiful. She was blonde. She had curly hair. She had big, curly hair. She was gorgeous. She was. That woman hates me today. She hates me today. But yeah, I dated her off and on for a long time. Let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Simsbury Joe is in the house. How are you, sir? Been a while.
Good. How are you?
I'm good. And welcome back. I know you were away for a little bit.
Yep. Thank you. As long as you don't say that you were 40 and she was 21.
No. She was 21 and I was about 27.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. So real quick before I get to my main topic, a couple of real quick points here. Jussie Smollett.
Yes.
I think in that particular question, you've got to give people context.
Okay.
To get the highest possible result of adults over 18 that would know who that was.
Okay.
And if you gave them context, I'd put that number at 85 to 90% of people would have known who Jussie Smollett was with a little bit of the story.
Do you think that my flaw in this was just mentioning his name and not talking about the ordeal? Like, people have forgotten his name but remember the situation.
Absolutely.
Okay. I didn't think of that. I guess because for context reasons, I know who Jussie Smollett is, so I may have overreached by thinking everyone knew his name, but it should have just associated with the actual act instead of his name.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. What was the other thing?
I know you're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett. I hope that you can talk about how she never spoke with the dialect that she uses now as an attorney in front of a judge.
Yes.
Nor did she speak like that in the Catholic school that she attended in high school.
That's great. In fact, I have that audio, and I'll grab it so I can have it in the system.
Yeah. So all these people, these leftists that are like, "Oh, she's a breath of fresh air." Really?
Nah.
If that's a breath of fresh air, then I got a bridge I can sell you. I mean, really easily too.
If Jasmine Crockett is a breath of fresh air, then I believe in climate change.
Yeah. So almost a good lead into my main topic here. I don't know if you talked about this when I was gone. It's not really been out that long.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a massive story. And I'm very concerned that a lot of people are either not aware of what I'm going to talk about, or they've just been like, "Oh, okay." And that story to me, because it leads into so many different things, is the sonar or whatever they did under the Egyptian pyramid of Giza.
Oh, yeah. I did see that story.
Yeah, they see columns of some type in the sand going down 600 meters at least.
Wow.
Now, the speculation out there is about, well, was it an energy source? Well, was it something else? And people are missing the boat. The story is 600 meters is a long way down to build into the ground in ancient Egypt.
Right.
So what does that mean? It means that when I called up on Whack Job Wednesday and Tim from Hamden made fun of me.
Yeah.
Because I said that our world history is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That somewhere around 10 or 12,000 years ago, and I didn't get this because I made it up. I got it because I listened to archaeologists and other people who were telling the truth. There was a cataclysm on this earth. So if people use their logical brain, there is no way to build columns 600 meters below the earth in Egypt. So that means that those columns, whoever put them there, and that's a whole nother story.
Right.
Those columns were there above the ground before they were covered up in a cataclysm, which basically destroyed the majority of the earth and life on earth, not everyone, and the sand and the mud and whatever, because of how violent the cataclysm was, covered up the majority of that pyramid.
So, if I'm getting this right, from the shifting of what would be, I guess, Pangea, right? The shifting of our, I guess, Earth's surface through all of that, we're talking about we're talking about an entire civilization far before the ancient pyramids.
Yep. And the thing is that if they're lying, they are lying to us about our world history for whatever reasons.
Mm-hmm.
These people just proved it, even if it only went down 100 meters.
Right.
They just proved it. So why are they lying to us? What are we being lied about? There was something bad that happened. It doesn't mean that all over the earth it was always 600 meters down. Some other places it could be 100 meters down. Others it could be a mile down. But all this story we've ever been given about the continents, the continental drift, here's how the oceans were, and it all moved, just got blown out of the water.
Yeah.
And if they're going to lie to us about something like that, about our entire history of this earth, what else are they going to lie to us about?
I need to go into that. I need to go into that story for a little bit further, because I'm trust me when I tell you, I saw that story and I said, no, I wonder what this thing was about. But of course, I got distracted because, of course, when I'm not on the air, my wife makes me do chores. But you're right. I did see that story about the pyramids of Giza, and and it was like, it was interesting enough for me to look at, but I, for some odd reason, got lost on it. But thank you for now. I've got to go look at that, because my wife, that's right up her alley. So now I can watch something with her that she's actually interested in. I'm going to actually come back to you on that one.
Yeah, and again, I'm not focused, and I'm not buying into, because I don't have the information yet, that, this was a secret energy source near, that the Earth had a different form of energy. I have no idea. All I know is we have man-made structures reaching down 600 meters into the Earth under a pyramid. How the hell did the Earth get there?
Yeah.
Around it.
It's a good point. Always good stuff, Joe. Always good stuff. You fascinate the hell out of me. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Let's go to Mike in Plainville. Hey, Mike.
I'll tell you what, all the years I've been watching Ancient Aliens, I never heard that, and that's consistent with the thought of the hosts on the program, as well as many scientists, anthropologists, archaeologists. Eric von Daniken. I've never heard it about the columns going down. How many? 600?
600, yeah. And I saw this story. It passed by me. I don't even remember why I saw it or what outlet I saw it. And then it came across, and I went, that's interesting. Why isn't it? It says, there is a vast hidden city. Was coming from, I'll grab this source, a place called First Post is the first thing I saw here. He says, is there a vast hidden city beneath Egypt's Giza pyramids or Giza pyramids? And that's pretty much the story. And I saw that headline somewhere in the New York Post. This one's actually from the New York Post on, what day was this? This looks to be, I don't even have a date on this. Anyway, but it says, there's a vast underground city below Egypt's Giza pyramids. Scientists' wild theory claims, but experts debunk it as fake news. I don't know if it's fake news. The columns are there. How fake could they be? Are you just saying that over years and years and years they sunk or they sank? I don't know. I'm going to have to read more about it.
Hide all this information from the public if it's true, because most of the public, they don't care. They just say, no, I don't believe in it. Oh, what was that flew by? Well, that's a plane or something. The people just, they're in denial. They don't want to look into the issue, and it makes it easier for governments around the world to cover it up.
I would rather people just come out and say, no, that's a lie. But when you say conspiracy, that doesn't help, because, again, conspiracies only lead to being the truth afterwards anyway. And I think that's how they protect themselves.
If you look back from Roswell, 1947, to all that, shortly after 1947, the Roswell crash, all these government agencies were created. Department of Defense. The National Security Act was passed in 1948. All these things were done immediately after 1947. And if you follow it, if you follow the Bible, if you follow historical facts, if you follow mining operations in the southwestern United States, there's transit systems, secret transit systems in the southwest going up north into the Midwest that people don't know about.
This is what Snopes. Every time, this is enough to already make me a skeptic. Snopes writes, this is their headline, No credible evidence supports claims of vast underground structures found beneath Egyptian pyramids. Claims of a new ancient structure discovered beneath the pyramids in Giza are greatly overstated, it says. It puts the statement as false. I don't know. I'm going to read a little more into this.
At least one scientist that worked for the Smithsonian went out to the Northwest, Utah and other places, and he found some very old relics. And when he brought them back to the Smithsonian, to D.C., and turned them in and wanted to catalog and do some research on them, this man mysteriously disappeared months later, was never found.
I remember for a long time, we thought that the first pyramids or any structure remotely like that was only found in Egypt, until we just recently found out that in Mexico, they were doing the same thing. The structures were eerily similar to the structures that were in Egypt.
There's pyramids in the Arctic Circle, and there's pyramids in the South Pole under the ice. There's miles of thick ice. And I could go on. I could talk for 2 or 3 hours about Antarctica. That's a whole different ballgame down there.
I know. I'm very interested in a lot of this stuff. But let me go. I got to get up out of here. Thank you, Mike, as always, sir. So when we come back, stupidest thing I read today. This comes out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Yes, I'm giving you a tease, so you can go look it up yourself. But don't worry, I've provided you with the audio and video for it. If you want to watch it, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com, and you can watch it there live. The story baffles me. I'm telling you, it just baffles me. And for those of you who do not remember, Jussie Smollett was the guy who says it was the Arctic vortex? What was that thing? It was one of the coldest days in Chicago's history. And this bozo goes out for a Subway sandwich at about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And he claims that 2 white men wearing MAGA hats in Chicago, middle of the night, accosted him, called him the F word, and beat him up, poured bleach on him, and put a noose around his neck. And, of course, it was exposed as a hoax. He's not going to serve any jail time because they finally, dropped all the charges against him and allowed him to go free. I think he spent 9 days in jail. He's been living in obscurity for the longest. I don't know if he's even got a job. I don't know if Tyler Perry will hire him at this point, which is like working for Tyler Perry is like going to the, Oakland Raiders back in the days when after your career goes to hell. That's what it was like. So, I don't know what he's doing now. I don't even know if he's doing anything.
I mean, he pays well, though.
Who, Tyler Perry?
Yeah, Tyler Perry
pays. He pays scale.
He pays above.
He pays above scale?
Above scale, yeah. That's why people like going to him.
Oh, I don't know. Tyler Perry. There's a great video I got to show you of George Lucas talking about Tyler Perry and why his movies are made. It's an interesting video. Maybe I'll find it. Anyway, Matt Walsh. What is that? Matt Walsh reenactment of that was amazing. Yes, it was. It was very, very funny. All right, we'll take
Not
a
yet.
break. Not yet. Okay. Well, we'll take a break in a minute. Okay, we've got that, and I've got to get into Jasmine Crockett. I've got that audio as well. And who else? Who have I not talked about? Oh, what's the name? Why am I forgetting his name now? Why am I forgetting his name? The Raging Cajun. Yeah, the Raging Cajun. 31 days ago, he said that Donald Trump's presidency was sunk. 31 days ago. He said, give it a month, and it's going to be a downward spiral. Well, apparently, nobody heard him. Nobody heard. Jussie Smollett syndrome. I don't even know what that is. We'll talk about that. But first, Jason Catarina has your weather, and Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. James Carville. Thank you, Richard. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B. A little slow again as you move Rocky Hill into Cromwell between 23 West Street and 22, the Route 9 interchange. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bissell Bridge in the South Windsor. 2 westbound tight exit 4 up to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound, you've got slow traffic 22 in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. If you're heading into New Haven, southbound on the Parkway, slowing approaching 60 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy and milder with a mix of sun and clouds, the high up to 54. Turning cloudy and chilly tonight, the low dropping down to 31. It remains cloudy
Lori.
for us as we head through the day on Wednesday with a shower in spots for the afternoon. Maybe take your umbrella just in case, the high at 50. Partly cloudy, chilly on Wednesday night, the low down to 29. Then Thursday, partly sunny, breezy. It's going to feel a little chilly at times with the high of 50. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Police in New Haven have released additional.
Oh, yeah, heads up. Thursday is the first day game for the Red Sox.
Leary, she was reported missing last September. 2 New York City women are facing prostitution charges in Plainfield. Police there executed a warrant at the wellness spa. Under arrest, Fang Wang and Li Fang of Whitestone, New York. Police confiscated prostitution proceeds, they say, along with other evidence. About 24 doctors uniting at the state capitol today. They were on hand to promote the importance of vaccines, as over 400 measles cases have been logged in the U.S. thus far, none so far in Connecticut. Consumer confidence continued its sharp 2025 decline, with American views about their financial futures falling to a 12-year low. President Trump downplaying the texting of attack plans to a group chat that included a journalist as only a glitch in 2 months of his second administration. He tells NBC it turned out not to be a serious one. And AZ Fudd will be returning to UConn. The guard made her announcement today, a day after the Huskies advanced to the Sweet 16, Fudd averaging 22 points per game so far in 2 NCAA contests. Wall Street, the Dow up 4 points today. NASDAQ up 83, S&P up 9 points. NBA tonight, Knicks at the Garden take on the Mavs. NHL Rangers a late one out in LA against the Kings. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, Tom Shattuck here. As you know, my friend Phil has been on Awaken 180 weight loss for now 6 weeks. Let's check in with Phil.
Down 6.8 last week.
That's a lot of weight.
Since I started, I'm down officially 38
That's
pounds.
opening day, isn't it?
More than 6 pounds a week on average. You're still losing weight at an increased clip.
Hey, we're doing
6 weeks into it.
opening day
I
on
can't believe it. I'm amazed at how fast this is
on
going.
WTIC.
I'll be hitting target in no time. I think by sometime in early May, I'm guessing. I did a quick look, Tom, at some stats. You know, they measure the visceral fat, the fat that surrounds your organs.
Yeah.
And the rating started at 23, and now I'm down to 19. So I'm down 4 units, whatever that's measured in. I don't really know.
That is amazing. That's life-saving stuff.
And then I do understand what body mass index is. I started at 37%, and I'm down to 33%.
You can be a resounding success story like Phil. Call 844-346-1800. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a health.
1 minute.
Restrictions apply.
Did you hear me earlier?
No, what'd you say?
On Thursday is a first day game, so the whole segment gonna be on the stream.
Yeah, that's
Access
what I
or
thought.
afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board.
It literally starts at 3:05, but the game doesn't start till 4:05. So we taking a pregame because it's the first game of the season.
I've helped
They
many
playing at
guys
home?
with ED, and it has never been
I don't even know.
than it is right now.
I think so.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at HIMSS.com/joy. To start
10.
Visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices. Go to HIMSS.com/joy. That's HIMSS.com/joy for your free online visit.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's get it.
Yes, you do. Stupid ass Kim B. This could very
Kim B.
Stupidest thing that I read today is coming all the way from Allentown. Somebody mentioned Billy Joel's got a great song. And we're living here in Allentown. Latasha Brown. Latasha Brown, why would you?
When black lives are under attack, what do?
A call for action and fight for change.
We will not be silenced.
Community members and leaders made their voices heard in front of Allentown City Hall Monday afternoon.
Just to think that people have to go to work in fear for their lives.
Since Friday, Allentown police continue to investigate an item resembling a noose found on a city employee's desk.
This egregious act is not just an affront to one individual, but it is an attack on the entire community.
Several spoke during a rally, calling for transparency, prevention, and an immediate federal investigation among a list of demands. This incident, community members note, is not the first racial discrimination issue City Hall has dealt with. Josie Lopez is a close friend of the victim.
They're always a community leader, always pushing for equality. They might be bruised right now, but they are not broken.
The victim is not being named due to safety concerns.
Our colleague was threatened. This was an act of terror.
It was an act of terror. Somebody put a noose on her desk.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Milkovitz, Criminal Investigations Division. On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee Latasha Brown arrived at her office on the third floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered what she believed to be a noose on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers assigned to the Community Outreach Unit, Crime Scene Identification Unit, and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the third floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. On January 24, 2025, a search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against Latasha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca.
Oh, that's right. How do you not know the Jussie Smollett story and put a noose on your own table and your DNA is all over it? For what? For what? You think they know better? Jason Caterina's got your weather, as I said. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Told you, Mark. Can you believe it? You think they watch the news? Just never put your own noose on your desk. Just don't. Just stay away from the news. I don't. There he is. Mark, you there?
I'm right here.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. And again, slow by exit 28. Some sluggish traffic again, approaching 23 in Rocky Hill. West Street down to exit 22 in Cromwell. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, no issues. Westbound 84 slows approaching the Bulkley Bridge, East Hartford out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays, 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291, 384, okay. 2 westbound's a little slow, exit 4 up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury delays, 22 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Newtown, you've got delays 10 up to 11. Southbound Parkway heavy now from 61 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, turning cloudy tonight. That'll be chilly with the low down to 31. Then a cloudy start to our Wednesday. A shower in spots for the afternoon. The high 50. Partly cloudy, cold on Wednesday night. The low dropping down to 29. Partly sunny, breezy Thursday. The high 50 will feel chilly if you're in the shade with that breeze. Then Friday, cloudy but milder. The high of 57. We'll get showers followed by a steadier rain Friday night. Then occasional rain and drizzle early on Saturday. Otherwise remaining cloudy and breezy, the high of 45 for us. Right now, it's 57 in Danbury, 57 also in Bristol and Hartford as well. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil, formulated for today's engines only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $32.99 in-store only. Limits apply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
And you can have it all at 2 for $6, like a Filet-O-Fish, Big Mac, 10-piece McNuggets, or large fries. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
When you haven't found
1 minute.
like everyone else has.
Got it.
It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit Staples.
All right, here we go.
Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
So you may have heard this a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people were talking about it. James Carville is a legend as far as political campaigns are concerned. And when he talks, people listen. And I get it. The Ragin' Cajun, he's anywhere and everywhere. He's been in television, even in movies. You may remember he had a quick little stint in a movie called Old School. I don't know if you remember that. It's, what was it? Owen Wilson, Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn. You know, about a bunch of old guys who move to into this house and start their own fraternity, even though none of them are in college. You get a whole bunch of kids. It's a funny. It was back in the days when the frat pack, where those guys were all a part of. Ben Stiller is a part of that as well. And the Ragin' Cajun had a quick part in there. And when you see him in movies like that, you go, oh, yeah, I know that guy. I even saw him once at the 2008 Democratic National Convention. I'll admit that I did chase him. I was shouting at him. And yes, he did have reason to run away from me because I was like a madman trying to get an interview with him. James, Kim, Reese on the radio. Hold on. I just want to ask you a question. He ran like the Dickens. He had bodyguards still. I don't know what for. He was at the Democratic National Convention. I mean, he was around family. Apparently he wasn't. I guess he wasn't too welcome there. Anyway, nonetheless, when he talks, people listen. The media loves to quote him. Well, he said this about 31 days ago about the Trump administration. He told Democrats, chill out. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be all right. Play possum. Don't do nothing. This administration is going to implode on itself. There's no way it can sustain itself.
This is what I believe. I believe that this administration, in less than 30 days, in the midst of a massive collapse, in particularly a collapse in public opinion. Della Volpe at Harvard, who's very good. I used to think once I saw a Harvard Youth poll, I discounted it. I've come to say it's a pretty damn good poll.
Well, it must be a pretty damn good poll there, Carville, if you're quoting it when you dismissed it before. But I guess it said something that you like, so now it's got credibility. Okay.
Pretty good guy. He's gone from 53 approval to under 30 to 39. That's a collapse. And all we need to do, the analogy I use, is Pickett is 500 yards from the stone wall. Hold your fire. It's gonna be easy pickings here in 6 weeks.
You heard me there, boy. You hold your fire. It's 500 yards from the Pickett to the border.
Just lay back.
So you literally think 30 days to 6 weeks, the Trump administration is effectively going to collapse in terms of public support?
Well, it's collapsing right now.
It's collapsing right now, James Carville says. It's collapsing right now. You're not watching? What you missing, boy? Didn't you hear what I said? And then this happened.
So when you look at this compared to sort of historically, what does it tell you about the percentage of folks that think the country itself, with him at the helm, is on the right track?
This, I think, is rather important because, again, if the polls have historically underestimated Donald Trump, what is a metric that might get at understanding at how popular he may actually be? So let's take a look at the percentage of the country who say that we're on the right track. It's actually a very high percentage when you compare it to some historical numbers. What are we talking about? According to Maris, 45% say that we're on the right track. That's the second highest that Maris has measured since 2009. How about NBC News? 44%. That's the highest since 2004. Wow. The bottom line is the percentage of Americans who say we're on the right track is through the roof. And if you were to compare it to when presidents have historically been reelected, of course, Trump is not constitutionally eligible to run for re-election, but I think it sort of puts it in perspective. 42% of the country says the country is on the right track when the incumbent party is reelected. And also keep in mind, back when Kamala Harris lost and the Democrats were turned out of power, only about 27 to 28% of the country said the country is on the right track. The bottom line is right now, a much higher percentage of the country says we're on the right track.
So I want you to take in consideration what just happened there. And forget about Carville. That to me, that's just chum. I like proving a guy like that wrong because he's been wrong for so long. So that I throw that in just to, have a little fun. Poke the bear, if you will. But what did I tell you? For those of you who are avid listeners of Reese On The Radio, what did I tell you? I said to you just yesterday, what do you mean there are people who are upset, disenfranchised, angry at the current administration? That Democrats are giving the illusion with Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez that Americans are starving for more left-wing progressivism. How could that be possible when, again, right track under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden was at 27%. 2 months in, 2 months, we have almost double that. Almost double that going in the right direction. The highest since 2009, the Maris poll says. Who was the president in 2009? Barack Hussein Obama. According to NBC, who was the president in 2004? George W. So what's all this nonsense? I told you none of this stuff is real. It's bogus. The polling data says otherwise. The information says otherwise. Everything they're trying to get us to believe is getting literally, it's like completely, just blow on it, it disappears. It's etched in sand. I warned you. I keep trying to warn you. I wish somebody would listen to me. Jason says he also said without a doubt that Kamala was going to win. Yeah, I trust that guy as much as I trust any Democratic political person. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. All of it is fake, phony, and bull. Let's go to Ralph. Ralph's in South Carolina. I'm sorry, I almost said North Carolina. Ralph, how are you?
Hang in there. Beautiful day here. High around 78. Not a cloud in the sky.
Stop bragging. No.
But the reason I called, Reese, is the reason the Democrats and progressives and liberals are going after
Trump?
Trump, not Trump, but Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
You know the reason, and you're a pretty smart guy. He is showing the public their piggy bank, and they're going to lose it.
Oh, yeah, that's without a doubt.
He's showing the public where the Democrats are stealing billions and billions of dollars by opening up these NGOs, and the perfect one is Kamala Harris, $2 billion. $2 billion. Now, my question to anybody down there is, where is that money going? Every dollar. I want to know who gets every dollar. And the game that they play is, oh, well, we're going to give $3 million here for consulting fees. just like the senator from Rhode Island, his wife got over $3 million for consulting fees. And that's the game they play. They consulting fees. Or they start these little programs and they eat all the money themselves. And the American taxpayer is getting it right up their butt. And it's just the sad thing is, Reese, that a lot of them don't seem to care.
You're saying that the politicians. No, I don't. Look, I do believe that they care. I just don't think that there's much of a, let's just say, interest in talking about that because, and I had this discussion with somebody not too long ago, and I think they made it clear, is that if more people weren't concerned with the access they have with power brokers or politicians, they would report for the American people. But for them, they need, how do I put it? Let me put it this way. This is the best way to put it. I remember Rush said it to me, and when he said it, I didn't understand it because, again, I came from the business of radio that said it was important to get as many guests as possible. So I had one program director who told me, hey, listen, don't insult the artist in any way because we need them on the air to promote the station. The more than we could get into the building, the better it is for everyone. And then I started listening to Rush in the early 90s, and I started paying attention to him, and I kept asking, it was like, why does this guy never, ever have guests on? And he's probably one of the most number one, he's the most number one consistently host. And then he talked about it one day, and he says, people don't want to hear what guests you have on or what interviews you can do. You can entertain them on your own. They come here to see me. I still thought in the beginning that was foolhardy. But you have to understand that that's the way the newsrooms operate because they want to be able to get the exclusives, my exclusive interview or my interview with this person, that person, or the other. So it is very rare that they criticize them because that person will say, well, then you can't have him on your show. Then you can't be one of the people who gets to report him. They're hogtied to that ideal. And if they can't report on those people honestly, lest they lose them as an opportunity to interview or have them on their shows, you're never going to get an honest broker in all of this. Go watch that video that Matt Caron, formerly of Fox 61, talks about. He touches on that a little bit where he says that. He says one of the biggest problems is that he's not there, or they haven't been there, to serve the public. And they've lost sight of that. That's what's wrong with these newsrooms. They've lost sight of serving the public.
The thing too, in at least my mind, obviously my opinion, an investigative reporter aren't they supposed to investigate?
Indeed. And again,
Isn't that what they are?
What they should be doing is they should be making those power brokers and those politicians scared to death of the news media, which again keeps them in check. You know what I mean? The objective is to keep them in check because they know Reese on the Radio is going to get on them. They know Ralph in South Carolina is going to. If you're that guy, you're going to be the guy that says, hey, Geraldo Rivera used to be one of the most feared people in news media for that reason alone, that they knew that he was going to get on the inside and find out what's going on, expose you, and destroy you. And that's the way news media used to be. They used to be the most feared people ever.
They should be feared. And the thing, at least again in my mind, Reese, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
Exactly right. And it's never, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But look, we try to do it here, and hopefully we'll get somewhere with it. But like I said, I know a lot of people want to come on the show when they want to come on the show and promote whatever they want to promote. But to be honest with you, I'm not trying to get friends, and I do have plenty who are in the business or are politicians in that way. I consider them friends or associates in that regard. But I don't want that friendship, because should something happen and I got to report the honest truth, I don't want to be or hogtied to a relationship that I can't be honest with the audience. I'm not going to sacrifice my audience for my relationships with people in the business.
Absolutely. You've got to be as honest as they come. And that's the way everybody should be as far as the news people go. But the problem is, and this goes for both sides, they slant stories and they spin stories.
Yep.
How about just something simple like facts and the truth?
Yeah, indeed.
Nothing dramatic. Facts and truth, those two things.
Indeed. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you, sir. And speaking of Matt Caron, let me tell you something. And I touched on this a little bit, and I don't know whether or not he's going to contact me. I know I sent him a message. I told him how to reach me. I don't know if he's going to come on the show. If not, I would love to have him on the show. But I want to be completely honest about this. If you haven't heard about him, Matt Caron was at Fox 61. He was one of the people, if not the reporter, who broke the story with Wanda Pataki in Bridgeport, at least up here. There were people reporting on it in the New Haven Register and other places down in Bridgeport, of course. It went national, but Matt Caron was one of the reporters on the scene in Bridgeport covering that story. And the corruption was real. It was real bad. And there was this one incident that took place where Matt Caron went to the mayor's office. And it was, for lack of a better word, barricaded by police. Police officers were there, and they were stopping anyone from going to the mayor's office. And the police were, in essence, being used to stop reporters from speaking to the mayor of Bridgeport, which was absolutely illegal. And any police action against Matt Caron or any reporter would have been a violation of their constitutional rights. It totally would have been. But Matt Caron did not go upstairs and did not get arrested. He should have. Not because he had to be the news. No, not that he had to be the subject. He didn't. He was reporting a story that people needed to know about. And what the mayor of Bridgeport was doing was wrong, categorically wrong. And it was the obligation of a news reporter to challenge that and go up that escalator and to be put in handcuffs on camera, for everybody to see what that mayor was doing to the free press. That's what should have happened. But in my mind, and Matt, you can always correct me if I'm wrong, I have a feeling that his newsroom told him not to. Either because they wouldn't back him or they didn't think that it would be helpful. But I'd love to talk to him about it. Let's get another check of the weather with Jason Catarinas. But first, Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 91 southbound coming into Hartford, got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28 and a little slow again 24 in Rocky Hill down to 23 West Street. Northbound 91 moves well, Cromwell through Hartford up into Windsor. If you are traveling westbound 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows approaching 46 to the Bulkley. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Slight slowdown 84 westbound by the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Newtown slowing approaching 10 to 11. Southbound Parkway, you've got slow traffic now getting by exit 60 in Hamden. And then it looks like we have an accident now between 59 and 58. So you got delays from the West Rock Tunnel down to the accident on the southbound side of the Parkway. Northbound Parkway a little slow in that area with some rubbernecking. South 95 New Haven slowing from 46 down to exit 44 in New Haven. This traffic report
Jason, I got it from Grunt Style.
Systems,
it's my favorite
a 100%
t-shirt company.
employee-owned company. At Tab Computer Systems, our employee owners are dedicated to your business success. We offer affordable enterprise-grade solutions in cybersecurity, VoIP, compliance, IT consulting, implementation, and support. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy and milder with a mix of sun and clouds, the high up to 54. Turning cloudy and chilly tonight, the low dropping down to 31. It remains cloudy for us as we head through the day on Wednesday with a shower in spots for the afternoon. Maybe take your umbrella just in case, the high at 50. Partly cloudy, chilly on Wednesday night, the low down to 29. Then Thursday, partly sunny, breezy. It's going to feel a little chilly at times with the high of 50. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly cloudy skies, 57 degrees. In Hartford, police in New Haven have released the name of the woman whose remains were found earlier this month. Detectives say the remains are those of 59-year-old Denise Leary of the Elm City. Remains were found in what investigators say was an advanced state of decay when they were discovered March 20th in the 100 block of Rock Creek Road. Residents reported the find while clearing brush in the rear of a house on that block, according to police. At the time of her disappearance, police reported that Leary had suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. She was last seen at her Rock Creek Road residence. No official cause of death has been given. Several top officials in the Trump administration who were on a group chat about war plans that inadvertently included the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine were on the hot seat before a Senate committee today.
The CIA director and the director of national intelligence confirmed that they were on this chat, claim again that there was no classified information shared, but not explain why that is or why in their interpretation it wasn't, since Jeffrey Goldberg has suggested otherwise. Either way, admitting it happened, but not necessarily showing much remorse for the mistake either. That may be in part because it wasn't John Ratcliffe or Tulsi Gabbard that started the conversation. It appears to have been Michael Waltz.
At CBS's Ed O'Keefe earlier today, President Trump expressed his support for the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. With the comeback of measles, pediatricians and lawmakers got together at the state capitol today to talk to the public about the safety and the importance of vaccines. WTIC's Dave Mager.
Public Health Committee Senate Chair Dr. Saud Anwar says vaccine campaigns have been so successful that generations haven't seen some of the worst illnesses, so some people can't believe they're real. House Chair Kristen McCarthy-Vahey says many are getting bad information on social media.
There is a flood of misinformation in the name of wellness. Wellness is something we all want, but some of this wellness misinformation are coming from well-funded groups and gaining traction given the leadership in Washington.
The state public health department said last week everyone should verify their vaccination status, with measles making a comeback nationally. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
2 New York City women are under arrest after Plainfield police say they were called to investigate alleged sexual activity at a spa in town. They say Lu Fangfang and Fang Wang of Whitestone, New York are charged. Officers executed a search warrant on Monday at the Wellness Spa on Railroad Avenue. It was a culmination of a surveillance and undercover operation by police into the spa. They say they confiscated prostitution proceeds and other evidence. Both women face prostitution and other charges. Vice President Vance headed to Greenland, joining his wife as part of a U.S. delegation. Matt Piper is at.
President Trump has insisted he wants the United States to take over Greenland for national security purposes. Now Vice President Vance says on social media he's going Friday.
As you know, it's really important. A lot of other countries have threatened Greenland, have threatened to use its territories and its waterways to threaten the United States, to threaten Canada, and of course to threaten the people of Greenland. So we're going to check out how things are going there.
His wife, Second Lady Usha, heads there with their son Thursday. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Modest gains on Wall Street today on the heels of a less than stellar consumer confidence report
Jason Brooks has the recap.
The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index declined for the fourth consecutive month in March, with future economic expectations sliding to a 12-year low, with consumers signaling a pullback in home and auto purchases. There were better signs in the housing market, with new home sales rising nearly 2% in February, while the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index accelerated to 4.1% growth in January. The Dow gained 4 points to 42,587. The NASDAQ up by 83 points to 18,271. And the S&P added 9 points to 5776. Jason Brooks, CBS News.
And for these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. Erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in well over 90% of cases. Here is one of our patients, Bill, sharing his experience on our ED treatments.
My name's Bill, and I'm a patient at Northeast Men's Health. I suffered with ED for a couple of years, and I wasn't satisfied with my intimate life with my wife. If you have a problem, find a solution. If you have ED, seek out Northeast Men's Health. Go there. You've got nothing to lose. I am having good sex, but it's not just about the sex. Colors are brighter. My mood was brighter. I had more passion for everything in my life, not just sex, everything. I'm going to Northeast Men's Health. Go there, give it a try, meet the people there. They'll take care of you.
Thanks, Bill. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. For just $99, you'll get a medical consult, work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
Don't forget, we still got to get into Jasmine Crockett. We'll talk about that in a bit. Plus your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Stephen Orozco. Stephen Orozco is running for mayor of New Haven against Justin Elicker. And Stephen Orozco is a Republican. And look, I'm going to say it right off the bat. I know Stephen will come on this program, without a doubt. But if people are looking for candidates who embrace Donald Trump, Orozco appears to be your guy. Let me read a little bit on him. According to I think this was the New Haven Independent who did this article. He says, in fact, here it is. He says, we had a lot of shift voting for Trump. Now the biggest shift was with black male vote that we know. That's where our target is going to be. Do I support Trump? Absolutely. I support disruption, he said. Now, one of the things and the biggest critiques about Republicans in the state of Connecticut, that is, or anywhere for that matter, is that they do not support Donald Trump, not in a full-throated way. Orozco appears to be different from that. Does he have a shot? I don't know. Justin Ellicker's got a lot of, he's got a pretty big wingspan in New Haven. But Orozco, he ticks all the boxes that many people in New Haven should care about. He's Trinidadian. That's a plus. As a conservative, he doesn't believe in sanctuary cities. He doesn't believe just in low-income housing. He believes in lifting all boats so we don't have to. Everybody can have affordable housing because they're making more money. So, Orozco, I'm rooting for you, buddy. If you want to come on, give somebody a shout. We'll be happy to have you on. Not enough Republicans down there in New Haven. That's an uphill battle, so I give you props for doing it. Let's get another check on your weather with Jason Catarinas. But first, Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, bud.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. With your westbound 84 coming into Hartford, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge, East Hartford out to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound slowing 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley. Southbound 91 delays Hartford 33 to 32 A and B. And once you get around that, you'll see a little slow traffic down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line, and another bump from 23 West Street and Rocky Hill down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound, no issues, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound, slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni. If you're traveling into Waterbury, that looks good, 84 and 8. 84 eastbound, some sluggish traffic from 9 in Newtown. 84 eastbound out to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, we have a crash now in Woodbridge between 59 and 58. Left lane is out there, delays. Back to exit 60 in Hamden behind that. 91 southbound New Haven slowing 6 into the 95 interchange. 95 southbound delays from exit 48 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it's been a pleasant day. Turning cloudy tonight, though. Cold, the low down to 31. Then cloudy with a shower in spots as we head through our Wednesday afternoon. The high of 50. Partly cloudy, cold again for Wednesday night, the low down to 29. Partly sunny, breezy Thursday. The high 50. You'll feel chilly if you're in the shade and outdoors when the breeze kicks up. Turning cloudy Friday, milder, the high of 57. We'll get a couple of showers Friday night, followed by a steadier rain that lingers into Saturday with occasional rain and drizzle early in the day. Otherwise, it'll be breezy and cooler, cloudy with the high 45. Then cloudy Sunday, the high of 48. Currently, it is 54 in Waterbury. It's 50 in New London, 55 in Mansfield, 57 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best select brake rotors. Ask the brake professionals about other brake pad upgrade options. Shop your O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Offer in-store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Paul Anka, all the hits, his way. Saturday, June 21st at Mohegan Sun Arena. Get tickets Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Paul Anka.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768, D1040145, E1185643, S330869, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swift. Flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit Staples.
Here we go.
For details. Price match guarantee valid in store on staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it. We're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I'm looking at this 10 rising stars in the Democrat Party. And again, looking at this list, Chris Murphy's not on it. He just isn't. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has the lead with 10%. And I want that so bad for you. I'm telling you, Democrats, I want that so bad for you. No, I really do. In my heart of hearts, all I want you to do is to have Alexandria Cortez as your number 1 seed for the Democrat Party in 2028. Please no one saw it coming, but I want this for you. I know that you want it for you. It would think about what it would mean for your party if they were to have the first female Latina candidate, progressive, socialist, former bartender, says that she's from the Bronx, but she's really from Yonkers, whatever. Or maybe it's Westchester County. I don't know, but she's clearly not, she's from an affluent background who pretends to be from the hood, much like this other sister girl. You know her, Jasmine Crockett and Tubbs. Oh, sister girl. She's at it again. She can't stop. She seems to be going straight for the violence. I mean, whatever she does, she is trying to beat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at her own game. She is trying to be more inflammatory, more controversial. She'll go after anyone. She'll say anything. Listen, here's her talking about Ted Cruz and Colin Ulrich, who lost that Senate race this past year in 2024. She's talking about how Colin should have beaten Ted Cruz. Apparently not just at the ballot box. Should have beaten him physically.
I think that you punch. I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. You know, I think, and I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But, like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right? Like, there is no niceties with him, like, at all. Like, you go clean off on him, right?
Yeah, you go clean off on him, you know? Elon Musk, you know, she does a lot of that talking mess towards men.
So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Yeah, she wants to see Elon taken down. And when Pam Bondi and the news media started calling her about it, what did she do? She turned around. She immediately started backpedaling.
Just in case the slow people listening decide to clip this up later, I just want to say that I have never promoted violence whatsoever, yet I've also never made excuse for those violent actors such as the ones on January 6th. So Pam Bondi, if you have an issue with terrorism, maybe you should talk to your boss about locking back up those guys that he let out that participated in January 6th.
And still no mention of the people who are firebombing, shooting, and attacking Tesla dealerships and people who drive them. Still no denunciation of that whatsoever. But to make matters worse, now she's going after the disabled. Now, again, I don't know who would be able to get away from this, but I get away with this, but I understand why she gets away with it. So let me just say it, okay? Because I know a lot of people don't have the guts to say it because they're worried about the blowback, so let me say it for you, okay? Just going to say it for you. Jasmine Crockett is a sister girl, and you're not allowed to criticize sister girl. You have to pretend it didn't happen. So you have to acknowledge they exist, but act like they don't when they say something completely off the rails. When she starts rubbernecking, for those of you who know what that means, you know, when they start moving the neck back and forth, that we call that rubbernecking, and waving the finger. Let me tell you, when she gets in the sister girl mode, you're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to sit back and watch her get ghettofied. You're supposed to sit back and allow her to express herself. So she can say anything she wants about a disabled white man in a wheelchair. She can call him anything she wants. If you're white, you can't do this. If you're a white man, white woman, how dare you? Don't you ever say anything like this. But sister girl, no, she gets a pass.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey. So yes.
Now, I know that I'm going to get a lot of trouble for what I'm about to say. I don't care. I'm saying it because I know people are going to get angry about it, especially my melanated listeners, okay? But Jasmine Crockett is the reason why African-American families only have 27% married couples. Jasmine Crockett is the reason why a lot of black men leave black women. She is. That right there. That's all she's doing. She's cosplaying. She went to a predominant school. She went to a very affluent school. She speaks very proper. She's a lawyer. She's not ghetto. She's pretending to be ghetto because she thinks that resonates. What she's doing, that's the personification of what Jasmine Crockett thinks sister girls are how they're supposed to behave, how they're supposed to talk. And you know what, Jasmine? You're right. That's exactly how sister girls talk. Listen, girl, you know what I'm saying? We out here in these streets. Yes, that's how your typical, stereotypical black chick speaks in the hood. In the hood. So if any of you are out there wondering, it's like, why are their marriage rates so low? Jasmine Crockett, ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Crockett. That's why. Cosplaying sister girl. Jasmine Crockett is the reason why I haven't dated a black woman since the Reagan administration. Yes, I said it. That's... Oh, that is so true. It's so true. Every time I say it, that makes people mad. They laugh, but they get mad at it nonetheless. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Rick in Cheshire. How we doing, Rick?
Hey, bud, call me crazy, but don't you think that the highest level of our government should have a better way to communicate other than on a civilian messaging app that anybody in your contacts that has Signal could be added to?
Yeah,
we're talking.
I agree with you there.
The
I agree with you there. If I'm going to criticize anything, it's that thing being used inside Washington.
Yeah. Well, look at the people. It's the Vice President of the United States, the Secretary of State, the Defense Secretary, Tulsi Gabbard.
Hey, don't forget. Now, listen, we're talking about administrations before that. This is like, I'll say this in defense of them, Rick, and you're 100% right. I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I will say this, though. What this shows in a lot of ways is what's wrong with government. That once something is in place, It stays. You know what I mean? Like there's no innovation in government.
Yes. Well, it also shows that that's a private sector application
that
was created by somebody that works very well in that form. But can't we just have like a cabinet app created by someone in our government?
And you know what? And we have a guy who can do that right now. Elon Musk can create that thing that's strictly for the people. In fact, he can create it so that it only applies for people in certain departments. You know?
Like you can easily do it. Like I'm starting a conversation with A-level people.
Exactly.
The only people that can enter it are A-level. Or
That's right.
A, B, and C, or whatever it is. And you designate that, and that's the only people that can join. You can't have some staffer or some rogue person just add somebody. Like that's kind of probably what we're never going to know how it happened. But
you know what?
In the administration.
But you make a good point because you're talking about the staffer part, right? Because what did we find out in this particular case with Signal? That a staffer had Jeffrey Goldberg in the contacts of this particular app. If you're doing it where, if you would create this apparatus that was only strictly for the A-level people, I would make it internal law or procedural inside Washington that says this particular app or whatever the case is can never be used by your staff. This is strictly, your eyes only.
Right. It's so simple. I mean, obviously, you just create the app as if they're in the skiff. The only people that could be in that conversation have already cleared through the technology.
Indeed.
And, it's so ridiculous that we we didn't. I listened to the hearing, and it was god awful. They looked awful. They stepped all over each other. It looked really bad.
Yeah.
For the administration.
Yeah.
And Trump did do a really good job of squashing it.
Yeah.
And literally blaming it on the technology and saying we should focus on, the success of the mission.
Yeah.
And he kind of turned it a little bit away, and he didn't throw anybody under the bus, which I'm glad. And he didn't ask him to apologize. But it's so ridiculous.
But you know what he understood, though? Rick, what he understood about that was the way they came after Mike Walls. He was concerned, and I think rightly so, at what they had done to General Flynn. Flynn,
exactly. That was right. And I was hoping he wasn't going to go and fire somebody right away.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what they wanted. And that's when they see blood, they go for it. And I think this whole thing, I mean, obviously he had it for 2 weeks. Goldberg had it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about it, and they released it the day before. So it was obviously there politically motivated to make this happen because they have nothing for the past 60 days to talk about to hang their hat on.
Yeah.
And this is going to go away in a day or two.
Indeed. That's what I said. I'm like, if there was something to make of this, it would be more already. But I think that that's the whole purpose of Jeffrey Goldberg, is that he's not going to give this into the Intel committee in any way, because the Atlantic can live off this for a little while.
Yeah, get a little bit of breath. But I mean, however they're distinguishing what's classified and what's not, it's a little bit. I mean, they're literally talking about a strike in Yemen on the Houthis.
Yeah.
Talking about I mean, that's I would assume that would be classified, but who knows? But I mean,
yeah.
At the end of the day, nothing bad happened. They're treating it like we gave up the secrets of the Normandy invasion, but
yeah,
but it's not. It's not a big deal, but I really can't believe that they're on that.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a good point. I don't believe that, as far as everybody else is concerned, and I think even Trump brought it up. Are we going to be using this app anymore, Mike? And he was like, I don't think so. I think that we're done with that. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's go to Adam in East Hartford. Let's go to him real quick before we go to break. Hey, Adam.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you good. What's up?
Hey, just like you said, they got to. My father, when we were kids, we went to a parochial school, and he used to say, like, at the time, it was when Nixon was in office, but maybe a little bit before that, it was Lyndon Baines Johnson. He said that he felt that we open our mouth too much, the U.S., and we, spill our beans.
Yeah.
And some kid in the school said, "Nah, we don't do that." But let me ask you this: the situation with the sharing that way with the chat, that message, that's not a good thing, huh?
No, and this is because there are too many hands in that device, so to speak, or in that system, the Signal app. There are just too many hands because everybody's got an assistant, right? Everybody's got someone who's handling the small stuff. And in doing that, you're only delegating mistakes in doing that. I'll tell you a quick story. When I first got into radio, I was an intern, and all I did was gather news for the morning show, right? Before I actually became a member of the morning show, I would get news for them. I was never on the air, never went on the microphone. I did not sit down. I was always on my feet. If I wasn't getting coffee, I was getting news. I was getting information. Till I actually got on the air, and I had to do both. So I had to be an on-air personality and the research department. And Star, the host of the show, said, "Hey, I'm going to get you an assistant." She was there 3 days, and I told him he had to get rid of her. You want to know why? Because she slowed me down. And I said, I don't need her. I'm the hands-on guy. Once I hand it off to her, she's going to miss something. She's going to drop the ball. I don't need somebody else to be the liaison to the information. If you need somebody to get information, let me do it. I don't need somebody else to hand it off to. And again, that's too often in Washington, where we have too many handlers and staffers and people who are doing work that we need to be doing as the people who are in charge. I don't want it to a staffer. And that's my biggest problem. I understand that they have to do it, but I don't think that they should. That's all I'm saying. I got to go to a break, but thank you, Adam. I appreciate you. It just isn't necessary. I mean, Jason Catarinas, I don't know if he's got a staffer. I know Mark Christopher doesn't have a staffer. He doesn't have somebody going to get traffic news for him. He's in the BPS traffic center. Because they would only get in your way. They would slow you down, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
This is a one-man showdown here. So
you wouldn't even listen. I'll put it to you before you go. would you even get an intern if they work for free to gather would you do it? Or would that only get in your way?
No, I would do that if somebody wanted to learn about the business.
You would so you would do an intern? I couldn't. As much as I would love to give them an opportunity, I just don't want them in my way. Because they would never get what I'm looking for.
No, I think I could deal with an intern. Yeah, that wouldn't be a big deal.
You're better than me.
Yeah. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like looking at traffic cameras, then this is the job for you. But I don't think a lot of people.
You're never going to get a traffic intern?
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see the average intern age kid wanting to look at traffic cameras for
I hear you.
6 hours a day. So, but anyways, if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, you're seeing delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue down into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays Hartford 33 down to 32 A and B. A little slow again as you move down by exit 23 West Street and Rocky Hill. Good ride northbound 91 Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbound slowing exit 4 up to the 84 West merge. Both sides of 9 heavy as you approach the Aragoni Bridge in downtown Middletown. If you're traveling westbound 84 in Cheshire, some slow traffic 26 to 25. Again, a little tight 22 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Eastbound side of 84 slowing by exit 5 in Danbury. Again, 84 eastbound sluggish from 9 in Newtown up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays from exit 61 in Hamden down to the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound slowing from exit 7 down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. And South 95 is slowing from 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
And now, a WTIC news update.
And the WTIC Weather Center forecast will have breezy, mild conditions for the rest of this afternoon, mid-50s for our high. Turns cloudy tonight with lows in the low 30s. It's a cloudy day for Wednesday, maybe a shower possible, high about 50. And then for Thursday, partly sunny, breezy, and a high about 50. Currently in Hartford, we have partly cloudy skies. The temperature is 56 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Police in New Haven have identified the human remains found earlier this month. They say 59-year-old Denise Leary first reported missing last September. The remains were found in back of a home on Rock Creek Road in New Haven. That's the street where Leary lived. Police at the time of her disappearance last fall said Leary had suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. President Trump downplaying the texting of war plans to a group chat that included a journalist as the only glitch in 2 months of his administration. He tells NBC it turned out not to be a serious one. Top national security officials, including Trump's defense secretary, texted plans for upcoming military strikes in Yemen in a group chat in a secure messaging app that included the editor-in-chief for The Atlantic magazine. Plainfield police charging 2 New York women after they were tipped off by residents of sexual activity at a spa in town. Liu Fangfang and Fang Wang charged. Detectives conducted an operation at the Wellness Spa on Railroad Avenue in town, turned up prostitution proceeds and other evidence. 5 high-level officials at the CDC are leaving. The departures announced today, at a meeting of agency senior officials. Groton man facing charges after state police say he caused a fatal crash last year driving the wrong way. Troy Bree had been originally charged with manslaughter with a motor vehicle. He's now facing DUI and reckless driving charges. AZ Fudd returning for another year at UConn. The 5'11 guard averaging better than 22 points per game this NCAA tournament thus far. She made the announcement today, one day after the Huskies advanced to the Sweet 16. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 4 points today. The NASDAQ gained 83 and the S&P was up 9. NBA action tonight at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks take on the Dallas Mavs and the NHL Rangers on the West Coast to take on the LA Kings. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Brought to you by Staples.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 4/5. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Hey, Tom Shattuck here. As you know, my friend Phil has been on Awaken 180 weight loss for now 6 weeks. Let's check in with Phil.
Down 6.8 last week.
That's a lot of weight.
Since I started, I'm down officially 38 pounds.
That's more than 6 pounds a week on average. You're still losing weight at an increased clip 6 weeks into it.
I can't believe it. I'm amazed at how fast this is going. I'll be hitting target in no time. I think by sometime in early May, I'm guessing. I did a quick look, Tom, at some stats. You know, they measure the visceral fat, the fat that surrounds your organs.
Yeah.
And the rating started at 23, and now I'm down to 19. So I'm down 4 units, whatever that's measured in. I don't really know.
That is amazing. That's life-saving stuff.
And then I do understand what body mass index is. I started at 37%, and I'm down to 33%.
You can be a resounding success story like Phil. Call 844-346-1800. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
When you haven't, like everyone else has, it's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million.
Here we go.
By going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hi, this is former Connecticut Governor John Rowland. Happy birthday, WTIC.
Hey, John Rowland, look at that. Haven't heard his voice in years. We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I've got some clips I'm going to play tomorrow related to the Tesla outrage. It's a supercut for tomorrow as well. Of course, there's plenty of news going on here in Connecticut, which was a story that I should have I wasn't going to talk about it today. I'm really going to wait on it because I need one more report that I'm waiting to come out. But I'll talk about that. I'm not going to tease it today. We'll just do it tomorrow. We'll talk about that. What else? I don't have any. How many days until the end of the month? What are we looking at? What day are we on? Okay, so it's the 25th. Okay, so if we're lucky, a week from tomorrow, right? Well, we're not lucky. It's going to happen. So a week from tomorrow, do you know what day that is, Roland? You probably, everyone has a day, but there's a national day for everything. What do you think, as it pertains to me, what do you think April 2nd is as far as a national day?
To you?
Yeah, what associated with me. Like every day has a national day, you know, National Groom Your Dog Day. Like everybody's got a day.
Yep.
April 2nd has a national day. As it pertains to me, what do you think April 2nd is?
Come on. A regular work day?
Not a national regular work day. It happens to be. No, it's Craig,
you don't.
I don't do anything but work, right?
Yeah.
Well, Craig says something funny. He said it's April Fool's Retribution Day, which I think is perfect. That is absolutely.
People still do April Fool's Day?
Oh, are you kidding me? I used to be the king at it. I actually convinced the guy his mother died.
Oh, why would you do that?
It was April Fool's.
That's not April Fool's.
Hey, come on, man. Go big or go home. No, on April 2nd, folks, it is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Yes, it is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day on April 2nd. So I'm literally crossing my fingers that we're going to actually do something great for
that'll be nice.
That'll be great.
Otherwise, you have to wait a whole nother year.
Yeah, that was going to be bad. Jason D says, it's tariff day. That's right. It's also tariff day. So get your peanut butter and jelly from the United States, from nowhere else. Jason Caterina has got your weather. But first, Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, on National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, will you have a peanut butter and jelly for lunch with me on the air here, please?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I do have some wishes here.
Okay. What else?
I need Skippy peanut butter.
That's fine.
And I need grape jelly.
That's perfect.
Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. I'm in.
So
Negative?
Everybody can get in on it. That's what we're all having for lunch.
Roland didn't like that. What do you want, Roland? What's your combination?
I like Jif.
Jif?
Oh, Jif peanut butter.
Oh, that's
with apple jelly.
Apple jelly?
That's a good combination.
What are you, Al Qaeda?
What?
Where did that come from?
I don't know. That's what I say with anyone who doesn't do anything American like grape jelly. That's
If it's Smuckers, it must be good.
It must be good.
I'm Adam Mason. I used to be on Lou Grant. I was the big boss on Lou Grant.
Oh, goodness gracious, yeah.
Mason Williams, one of the all-time great voices in commercial reads.
Indeed. And no chunky peanut butter that drips through the bread,
right.
John Beckman.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't
go.
have a problem with that. Yeah, just regular Skippy or Jif and some grape jelly, and I'm definitely in. Hey, this traffic report being brought to you by the Connecticut Prevention Network. Westbound 84, you're tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slows a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. Southbound 91 slowing from exit 33 Jennings Road down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91's okay, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 westbound slowing from exit 4 up to the 84 West merge. 9 southbound a little slow, Cromwell Middletown line down to the Ariconi Bridge in Middletown. If you're heading toward Waterbury, sluggish traffic westbound 84 25A up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Newtown a little slow getting by exit 9. And if you are traveling southbound on the Parkway, some sluggish traffic from exit 60 into the West Rock. 91 southbound delays from 7 in toward the 95 interchange. And 95 southbound, you're slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Want to get involved in problem gambling awareness? Connecticut has gambling awareness teams throughout the state. Visit gamblingawarenessct.org to find your regional coordinator and get involved in bringing problem gambling into the conversation of mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, I'm going to throw a whole monkey wrench in this. I like peanut butter and Nutella, but turning cloudy tonight, the low dropping down to 31. Cloudy with a shower in spots as we head through Wednesday afternoon. The high at
my daughter eats that.
Breezy,
a lot of people do. I think that's so newfangled.
Friday, a little mild.
Yeah, whatever happened to peanut butter fluff? I used to like that.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Into Saturday morning, occasional rain and drizzle early Saturday. A high of 45 for a cooler, chilly, damp, and raw feeling day. The high right now, the temperature right now, 55 in Danbury, 52 in Bridgeport, 54 in New Haven. It's 55 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
O'Reilly Veriscan is a free check engine light testing program that pulls from over 600 million vehicle scans confirmed by ASC certified technicians to provide a simple report and possible fixes available exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dreaming of a perfect smile? At Columbia Dental, our orthodontic experts specialize in braces and clear aligners like Invisalign. Get the smile you've always dreamed of. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
When you're
1 minute.
Have you ever felt
Thanks,
like
Doc.
you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right. It's your last chance to get on the phone. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. You can be the winner of the last but not least caller of the day, which will get you a dozen bagels a month for 6 months from Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. You can always go to betweenrounds.com. You can find out, of course, all of the wonderful bagels that they have in store, and you can even get them in retail. So give us a call. I can't give it to any of these guys because these guys are my regulars, okay? Which we'll get to them right now. Let's go first to the guy holding on along with White Mike again, calling in from Florida.
Yes,
I'm assuming because Jasmine Crockett in Tubbs always draws your ire. Is that why you're calling today?
Dude, look, first of all, I usually value your opinion.
Yes.
But I think you're on the right track with Crockett, but you have it flipped.
Oh, okay.
She cosplayed as a well-spoken lawyer who got along with everybody in polite society. What you're seeing is her true nature.
You think so?
Dude, Jasmine Crockett listened to the same music as every other black woman her age. She
Fair.
has the same cultural influences. It's ridiculous to think that she didn't turn out like the rest of them. You know who didn't listen to this? Candace Owens.
Right.
Now, Candace Owens is the real deal. Candace Owens is Candace Owens 100%. What you're seeing with Jasmine Crockett, remember the viral video that went around years ago of this really, really dark black reporter out on a country road somewhere in Alabama?
Yeah.
And he's speaking. He says, "Oh, well, today we have this problem." And then a bug flies.
That's
in his mouth,
correct.
And he goes, "This country is nonsense. I'm out here."
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah.
Her true nature's coming out now that she's got some power and nobody's checking her.
But see, that was in my experience, and I get what you're saying. It's in essence, she's coding, which is what I think that's what the term is, right? It's coding. So, and you're saying that it's flipped, that she's really the ghetto, the ghetto-fied woman, and she's pretending, or she's been pretending on the come up.
Buddy, you know me. You know that I have a PhD in African American studies.
You are.
I have been around black folks my whole life. I've been everywhere. I've been in the inner sanctum, and I've watched people go from, "That's my friend Jamal who talks like me," to being straight up ghetto.
We officially refer to White Mike as our Negroologist.
Listen, that's her. I'm who I don't think does it. What's his Wesley, whatever his name is?
Snipes?
Wesley Hunt.
Oh, Wesley Hunt. Wesley Hunt. Yes.
Because he went to West Point, so they have beaten the ghetto out of him.
Yeah. Well, they're not just talking about beating the ghetto out of him. Remember, everybody in his family is former military. Everybody. We're talking about his sisters, his uncle, his dad, everybody in his family.
Byron Donalds, I'm kind of on the.
He's from Brooklyn.
But the rest of them, and there's ones that don't hide it, like Jamal Bowman.
Yeah.
Dude, and Hakeem Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries is dying to let it fly. You know,
Dying to let. What? No, he's not dying to let. Listen to me, Hakeem Jeffries. He is a Farrakhan black man. Everybody knows it.
He talks like the RZA.
Yes.
Who's trying really not to sound like the RZA.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might be right about that.
And as far as this thing with Hegseth and all this, everybody is going on this tear, and they're not going to tell you that, the reason they use Signal is because Signal is secure.
Right.
And anything on government communications is not. You're much safer doing stuff on Signal than using your government cell phone because you know the deep state and the CIA is watching that one. And B, they leaked this to Goldberg because they know who Jeffrey Goldberg is. It Jeffrey Goldberg? Not
Jeffrey,
Goldberg.
yes, I'm Jeffrey Goldberg.
They knew what he was going to do, and how come nobody's calling him a traitor?
Indeed. You know what? I said the only person who had the gumption to say anything were those hacks over there at the Breakfast Club. DJ Envy, who is not politically savvy in the least. He's less off than Charlemagne the God. He's the only guy who said, why would you release this? Like, what? You could have put people in danger. The only guy who asked.
Because he's a piece of crap, and they did it on purpose because they knew he would release it. It didn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Like your caller said, they weren't exactly releasing the plans for the Normandy landing.
Indeed.
Was we're going to bomb these dudes who already bombed.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, boss man. I appreciate you, man. Let me get up out of here. I got to go to Craig. He's in the car. He's been holding for a bit. What's up, buddy?
I keep looking up White Mike, and all I get is Mike White, and he looks like a traffic reporter. So,
Why? I will get you two to be friends on Facebook at least, so you can hang out with him. He is going to trust me. He is going to bust every rib you got.
I'm a little bit behind because I'm still Googling what cosplay is.
Oh, okay.
And now that I see what it is, I don't want to know what it is. Yeah, this whole app they're using.
Yeah.
How great would it be if Trump just got Bezos, Zuckerberg, and Elon in a room and said, make me a secure app for government officials that can't be cracked. You can't reply all accidentally.
Right.
Like we've all done.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Just make that not a thing.
Yeah. And I
And
think,
we'll
you know
fix it
what?
all.
And it could be for every administration, like in essence, for record keeping, whatever the case may be, everybody gets a new device, no transferring of devices to, we're not moving it from one NAT set to another NAT set. We just don't ever do that.
Well, Hillary never transferred a device. She just took a hammer to it. So, we're all good.
Yeah, if there's anybody who knows how to clean up, I guess go to Hillary way. That's what you could do. Thank you.
Mike, reach out.
You got it, man. I'll make sure that you guys connect. Let's go to Brad. Hey, Brad's in the car. How are you, Brad?
I'm good, Reese. How you doing?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
All right, just a couple of things. I think this story just shows how desperate the Democrats are to just, try to find and latch on to anything that they can to discredit Trump, the administration, all that's going on. It's just an act of desperation, in my perspective.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think the one point is that there has been such a groundswell of support for what Donald Trump has done. They needed the first thing, and I think the Atlantic was one of those because they're one of, Jeffrey Goldberg is one of his harshest critics, Donald Trump for that matter. He saw an end to sort of, take a little air out of the balloon that is MAGA, and he did that with this story. So saying, hey, see, they're not perfect. See, they're sloppy. And that's, what the narrative was. Unfortunately, he should have waited because he should have gotten a bigger fish. I think this is a piker.
I completely agree. And my second point, Reese, my friend, 3 weeks ago today, I was the last caller of the day, and I never got my certificate. I'm dying for those bagels from between rounds. Does it take that long to get
I
the certificate?
I don't believe so, but you know what? I'll put you on hold and see if we can get an answer for you. If you don't mind, I'll put you on hold right now. Speaking of going to our last but not least caller of today, let's go to Michael, who's in Higginham. Hello, Michael.
How are you, Reese?
I am great, sir. You are our last but not least caller of the day and our recipient of Between Rounds, a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. It's a Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. Anyway, without further ado.
That is so awesome, and it's very generous of them.
My pleasure, sir. So what do you got for me?
I can't tell you how much my wife and I love listening to you. And
thank you, man.
And this desperation by the left of trying to find anything because they've given up on the, get rid of Trump thing as much as now they're like stepping on toes and doing weird stuff. And it'll be interesting 4 years to see how desperate they can possibly get, quite frankly.
Do you know what this reminds me of? I was thinking of like my second wife. I remember one time she asked me to do the dishes, and I rarely do dishes. In fact, I don't even argue about doing the dishes, but I did the dishes once, and I forgot a glass, and it turned into the biggest fight ever because I forgot the glass. It was almost as if I washed no dishes at all because I forgot the one dish. And that's what I kind of feel like this is. It's like they attacked the Houthis. It was a successful attack, but for some odd reason, they left the glass unwashed. And Jeffrey Goldberg found the glass and turned it into, into the Watergate for some odd reason. It's insanity. And the worst part about it is when we ask them, and I've asked everybody, what was the big deal? People look at me and go, well, it was kind of sloppy. And I'm like, that's it?
Well, it's kind of up there with the judges wanting them to return foreign terrorists back to our country. It's like, that's a great idea.
Dude, you know
what you're going to run on?
I'll give you one more. Somebody mentioned this in the chat room, and I think it was Lori. Lori's been great in the chat room today. But she mentioned something that I normally don't forget, but I forgot it in this instant. What happened with this Houthi thing, it was hours before the attack. But Lori said at least it wasn't an administration that flew over and threw flyers out of airplanes to inform ISIS that they were about to be attacked in their convoy. That happened in the Obama administration, which, by the way, when everybody found out about that, no one in the news was outraged. That ISIS, the JV league that turned out to be a place, a caliphate that took over, a third, if not 2/3 of Iraq? Like after the explosion of ISIS, this guy was sending out telegraphs saying, hey, we're coming to get you. You probably want to be out of here. And no one thought that was outrageous.
Which kind of brings me to Netanyahu warning the people in Gaza.
Yeah.
Look, if you're there, get out.
Exactly. At least then he's doing that because he doesn't want innocent civilians to be killed. But this was Barack Obama sending a message to the enemy. Hey, by the way, we're going to bomb your convoy. Best you get out there. And then we're going to make it look like we took you out, but we don't want any casualties. And you know what Marie Harf's reasoning for this was? Was because if we had killed them, they would only be angrier. And every enemy's going to be angry when you kill them. That's part of the deal.
But yeah, it's kind of part of the package.
Yes, exactly. You're an enemy combatant. Dying is part of the package. It's insanity. Thank you, man. Michael, let me put you on hold and make sure that you get the bagels. I appreciate the dialogue.
Thank you so much, Reese.
My God, please, and my best regards to your wife. Thank you so much, you guys, so much for listening to the show.
Absolutely.
You got it, buddy. I don't even understand this. And I know I'm considered the cynic and the person who's, all out of sorts. Look, I'm sorry. I haven't been wrong yet. I haven't been, and I know I'm patting myself on the back a little too much. I know I'm going to get mine. It always happens. Something that I predict. I have to eat crow. I anticipate it, but it ain't happened yet. So I'm not going to not applaud myself for my winning streak. It's time for me to get up out of here. I can't wait till tomorrow. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. Jason Caterina, he's got your weather. And Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. See you tomorrow.
All right, Reese, have a good night. I am off tomorrow, so I'll see
that's
you on
right.
Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Tab Computer Systems, a 100% employee-owned.
All right, good sir.
All right, so.
Yeah, these guys never fill out the forms in the emails, and then they wonder why they don't get to their stuff. Like you got to complete that process when he sends you the email.
Yeah.
You got to complete that process. Then he sends it out, but people don't do it. So
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Glastonbury tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Well, nonetheless, I'll see you tomorrow.
yes, sir. See you tomorrow.
You got it, bye.
In Berlin.
Laura says, no hate, just disappointed that they were lovely girls that made themselves sound less professional than they actually were. Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Richard, thank you. Laura, you've been fantastic today. Craig as well. Everybody. Salvatore. Gotta remember you because I know you're in the mix as well. But I love you guys, and I will see you mañana.